Good afternoon and welcome to Burlington, Iowa Inside Community Field. It's Friday night baseball here at the Hive as the Jackson Rockabillies are in town to take on your Burlington Bees. Hi, I'm Liam Sample, joined alongside Sam Megan. Welcome to today's broadcast. Jackson has been red hot as they enter today's game. A 6-2 overall record, have won their last two and are in just their second season here in the Prospect League. The Burlington Bees, not so much. Two straight losses with a 2-5 overall record, are 2-2 at home, and that includes a heartbreaking loss last night. Sam, the Bees pitchers gave up one total earned run, but lost by a score of 6-3. What went wrong for Burlington last night?
Obviously, it was the offense for the Burlington Bees, and that's kind of been the struggle for this team all year. Dead last in the Prospect League in hits, so they've been struggling to just string things together, and mainly with runners in scoring positions is when they've been struggling the most. Only 2 runs in 4 of the last 6 games they've played in, so a massive struggle for this Bees team early on.
And for yesterday, Jackson, an impressive performance, taking down one of the top teams in the Prospect League in the Alton River Dragons on the road. Sam scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings and did it on both sides of the ball, too. Only gave up runs in the 6th and 7th inning. Dominant pitching and dominant hitting was performance. So on a personal note, Sam, Quim Loeb, the field manager for Jackson in his first season, a SUNY Poly graduate in 2012, also the head coach at my school in SUNY Plattsburgh, going against the Burlington Bees head coach and Owen Oreskovich, the NAIA and Mount Mercy assistant coach. So we have D3 versus NAIA. I actually had a chance to speak with both head coaches before this game, and I'll turn you over to that nice little chat I was able to have with both coaches. Joined alongside the Jackson head coach here. You've done a lot of traveling in the last few weeks. Welcome to Burlington. Quite a hike to get here. How was the bus ride?
The bus ride up here was pretty good. Passed through a lot of cornfields. We stopped in Thrillville for their banana ball night, and then we played in Alton last night.
So when you accepted this position and being from SUNY Plattsburgh, did you expect to see any Cardinals this summer?
No, I didn't until I saw your tweet that you're the play-by-play guy for the Burlington Bees, and then I looked at the schedule and saw we come up here this 3rd week of the season or 2nd week, whatever it is.
So take me through the transition you've been through. You had the run, the conference playoffs back at Plattsburgh just a short time ago, and then pick up, move, and now be a head coach here. What's that been like for you personally?
Easy transition. I've coached in the summer in the past, so the transition was easy. And being a college baseball coach, life's pretty hectic, so you only need a couple days to really wind down one season and jump into another.
So how does this position differ from maybe position back in Plattsburgh or other summer ball coaching jobs that you've had?
It's pretty similar to coaching in Geneva or Newark in the Perfect Game League. I think it's a lot different than, the kids I coach at college. You kind of treat this, a little bit more like professional baseball, relax. Like, I have 32 guys or so, but these aren't my players, so we're not making drastic changes to them. Like, we're not changing pitching mechanics. We're not really changing their swing at all. We'll give them little tips of advice here and there, but for the majority of it, it's just them getting the reps, them getting innings on the mound. When you're coaching college baseball in Plattsburgh or probably at any other college, you're living and dying by every pitch. Here, you just kind of stay even keeled, knowing that you're basically playing every single day. So you can't really let it affect you too much.
So let's focus on this group that you're coaching right now, talking about the strengths and weaknesses of them.
Definitely strengths. We've been playing pretty good defense up until a few games ago. Pitching staff, that's one of the reasons why we're 6-2. The pitching staff has been really good. We've been fortunate enough to be going deep into games. Like we have a 95 pitch limit, and we're basically throwing into the 5th and 6th inning every day with our starter. So that really helps the bullpen out a lot. We do have some very good hitters, but it's taken a little bit of time to get going offensively. Like, there's been some games where we've scored 11 runs, 10 runs, but it hasn't been too consistent. So that's what we're kind of trying to focus on a little bit. But the defense has been good, and the pitching staff has been pretty phenomenal so far.
So you guys are on a big heater, like you said, right now. What's working specifically well?
It's starting pitchers going into the sixth inning or fifth inning most starts. That definitely saves on the amount of pitchers we're using in the bullpen. And fortunately enough, two of those 6 wins we've gotten the opposing team starting pitcher out after the second or the third inning, and now you get into the other team's bullpen. And generally that might be a weakness for some teams. And then, if they got to use 4 pitchers to finish out a game, that definitely helps you win some games.
What are the points of focus for this kind of 2-game set you have here in Burlington today and tomorrow?
Oh, we haven't really talked about too much. Like, my main focus is trying to get the offense to be more consistent, stringing together more quality at bats. It's the same thing I talked to my guys at Plattsburgh State about: not giving away outs, not giving away at bats, trying to generate games where you're getting 7 or 8 runs to kind of keep the pressure off of our own pitching staff. With over a 50, 60 game season, if the starting pitchers know that, man, they got to go 6 innings every time, and they might only have to give up three runs to get a win, that puts a lot of pressure on it. So we're trying to take the pressure off of our pitchers, provide them some run support, and so far we've done that.
Final question for you. Tonight's promotion, we're kind of focusing on the show, The Office. I'm wondering, are you an Office guy?
Yeah, huge Office fan, probably up until those seasons with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
But the early seasons were definitely really good.
Do you have a favorite episode?
Trying to think.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you are. It's probably any episode from like seasons 1 or 2 are pretty spot on.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on today, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Back here with Coach O. Bullpen with a huge bounce back game yesterday. No earned runs over the final 6 innings. What did you like from the Arms?
We gave up quite a few hits yesterday, but our pitchers filled up the zones. They made pitches when they had to. So we didn't walk many guys yesterday, which is a huge plus, which is what we've been talking about with them. Make them hit to score runs, and we did give up hits, but our pitchers did a good job of working through some things. So they did a great job yesterday.
4 hits total as a team yesterday. How do you expect the bats to bounce back?
I just had a nice little talk with the guys down there. So, I think them being a little more locked in today, making adjustments throughout the game, each at bat, each pitch is going to be something that, I hope to see today.
Kind of being at Community Field for the next 2 games, a bit of one of the bigger home stands of the year. How's important to kind of be in front of the fans tonight and have the environment?
We want to give the fans a good show every time we're here. So, we really try and win every game at home. I talked about that to our guys. We want to give them a good show when we're at home, make them come out here, want to be here, and want to see our guys play. So, we really enjoy the fans we got here and the crowds, and we want to give them a good show every time we're here.
So you're playing a team all the way from Tennessee. What are your thoughts on Jackson?
They've had some players in the past. I know last year was their first year, but they're kind of rolling right now. So we got to go out there and play some good baseball and make pitches and get quality hits when we can and do our job.
As you mentioned it right there, you kind of caught a lot of really hot teams. O'Fallon's on a win streak. Illinois Valley is too. Jackson is. How do you kind of weather the storm with all these teams you may have caught at a bad time?
Yeah, it's baseball. That stuff happens. So we got to go out there and play the game the right way and play it hard. And, that's all I can ask for the guys. Teams get hot sometimes. So, it's our turn to get hot.
Shea Blanchard at the start today had a bit of a rough go at his first go at O'Fallon. Kind of what do you look to see him focus on for this time go?
Yeah, just fill the zone up. He gave up 2 home runs in the first inning there that were okay. I don't know if they would leave our field here. So, just fill up the zone, get ahead early, make them get hits and score runs that way.
Different looking lineup today. Give me a couple of guys who you're excited to see have some at bats today.
I'm excited for all our guys after the conversation I had down there. So I'm really excited to see Reese Moore keep swinging at how he's doing it. He's a very competitive kid, so I'm very excited to see him. And Landon's back in the lineup today, and Coop. So all our guys, I'm excited for all of them today.
Final question for you. It's the Office Olympic Nights tonight at Community Field. Are you a person who have watched The Office before?
Have not watched The Office, and not a big TV guy. So
do you have a favorite show then?
Trailer Park Boys on Netflix is a show I've watched plenty of times, and The Sopranos. Shout out Sopranos.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. And we're back. What a good conversation I was able to have with both Sam and owner Eskovich. Very interesting to hear them both their takes on TV shows and The Office. Coach Quinn Lowe, big Office guy. Oreskovich, not so much. He likes The Sopranos and Trailer Park Boys. Can't blame them. Those are two very, very solid picks. So speaking of their coaches' opinions, let's take a look at today's starting lineups. We'll first begin for the away Jackson Rockabillies. Batting in the leadoff hole is number 41, Gavin Arsenault, an excellent day yesterday, 3 for 4 with 2 walks, 1 run, and a strikeout. His splits this season, Sam, have been nothing short of incredible. A .545 batting average in 3 games played for the Oswego, Illinois native and Oakland University attendee. Take us to the second baseman, number 7, Jack Blimler, University of Illinois Springfield attendees, played in 4 games to a batting average of .353, 38 games this season at UOIS. Next to the 3 hole is number 1, Merritt Carter. A good day for him yesterday, 2 for 3 with 2 runs and a strikeout. Attends the University of Alabama in Huntsville, where he played in 44 games this season. This is his 8th appearance of the year. Has 4 RBIs on the season. Next to the cleanup hitter in number 16, Trey Rackerbomber, the Emporia State University attendee. Played 147 collegiate games there for the Division II college. So far, has in 13 at-bats, has just 1 hit and 2 runs, so looking to get his bat going in a big spot. Next to the 5-hitter in the right fielder today, and number 19, Will Bowen, the College of San Mateo attendees. Actually attended 2 different colleges, went to Lansing Community College also. Appearing in his 7th game of the year, and on base of .294, the batting average of .200 for him. To the shortstop in number 10, and Brogdon Jones had a hit yesterday alongside 2 RBIs. In this year, or for this season, a .571 slugging alongside a .563 on-base, pretty impressive hitter down in the order. That takes us to the center fielder in Julian Jimenez, a Utah Valley attendee, as appearing in his 6th game of the season, a .067 batting average. Next to the DH today, and number 20, Caden Content. Clarion University attendees playing 143 games for the Division II college in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Has hit 143 on the season, with a .400 on-base percentage. And finally, to the 9-hitter and the first baseman today, and number 36, Stan King, attends Arizona Christian University this year for the Rockabillies, has a batting average of .231, has appeared in 3 games so far for Jackson. Sam, why don't you take us through the starting lineup here for the Burlington Bees?
A completely different look for Coach Owen Oreskovich tonight here for the Burlington Bees after the struggles last night. Leading it off, making his B debut will be Jace Figueroa. He hit .362 at Southeastern Community College here in Burlington. He's also a Burlington native, so if he keeps up those numbers here with the Bees, he might as well be the mayor of Burlington, Iowa. Batting second will be the Bellarmine Knight and Landon Akers. Not see any action with the Knights this year, but he's swinging a hot bat with the Bees. Went 3 for 6 in his last game against Illinois Valley. That was back on Sunday. Batting third for the Bees in his 3rd straight game of action will be Reese Moore. He's the designated hitter in last night's ball game, but will be behind the dish in today's ball game. Went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs in his B debut on Tuesday. Had another successful night with 2 hits yesterday as well. Had an RBI as well, so looking to keep up a multi-hit game at the 3-hole. Batting fourth will be Cooper Donlin, the sophomore out of Hawaii Pacific, at .314 there, and he's kept up those hot numbers with the Bees, hitting .333 here in 18 plate appearances so far. Has a stolen base, 3 walks as well. He's had multi-hits in 3 of the last 4 games, so they're looking at a huge production for 3 and 4. Batting fifth will be the walk-off hero from Sunday's game, Merrick Matthews, the Iowa Hawkeye. Didn't see any action this season, but went 1 for 5 in his last game played on Tuesday. That was back in Illinois Valley. Batting sixth, will be Skylar Agnew. He hit .286 this year at Hawaii Pacific, and we will meet the rest of the Bees after the national anthem.
Yeah, so we'll turn it over to our national anthem here today here in Robb as the Bees take the field, and we return the rest of the Bees starting lineup, today's starting pitching matchup, and of course, first pitch when we return. Thank you, Rob, for that wonderful addition of the Star Spangled Banner. Sam, why don't you take us through the rest of the Burlington Bees lineup?
So, yeah, as I conclude, so Figueroa at 1, Akers at 2, Moore at 3, Donlin at 4, Matthews at 5. As I left off, Skylar Agnew will be hitting 6th to 3rd baseman here tonight's ball game. Went 2 for 5 on Sunday in his last game played against the Pistol Shrimp. So looking for a hot bat to stay hot here in the 6th spot. And what the Bees are looking for with the majority of this lineup here today. Another hot hitter in Cedric Dunwald. He's batting 7th here for the Bees. A very experienced bat in the Prospect League. Hit 239 last year, and he's only gotten better since. He hit 263 so far in the season with the Bees. Only 19 at-bats, however. A couple of walks, stolen base, but strikeouts have been the issue with Dunwald, 7 of them so far this year. Batting 8th will be the designated hitter in Jackson Lindquist, the hot bat that they're hoping to stay hot after a cool start to the year. Finally got his first B hit, and since then has been hitting ever since. He's gotten 3 hits and 13 at-bats, so that's a 231 average, a 333 on-base percentage. Strikeouts, just like Dunwald, have been the issue for him. 6 strikeouts for him, 3 runs and 3 RBIs for Lindquist as well. So they're looking for him in the 8th spot to almost kind of be like a second cleanup guy. And batting 9th, rounding out the order, will be freshman shortstop Boston Halloran, the Oakland Grizzly, who hit 333 last summer in the Kansas Collegiate Baseball League. Not off to quite as hot of a start this summer, hitting 200 and only 15 at-bats. Has 3 strikeouts and a pair of runs this season, but starting to find his footing in his last ball game. Went 2 for 5 with a strikeout, but 2 runs against the Pistol Shrimp back on Sunday.
Thank you, Sam, for the Bees starting lineup today. We'll take it over to today's pitching match. We'll begin for Jackson. It's the junior and Matt Maloney making the start today. University of Evansville attendee. Just finished up his first season there. We did not play. Formerly attended Southwest Illinois University. We saw quite a bit of action so far this season. Has appeared in 1 game, made 1 start, went 3.1 innings pitched with 4 earned runs and 4 runs. That ended up finishing as a no decision, as the team ended up coming back and winning that game 11-10 back on May 31st. So Maloney part of a wild Jackson win. Who's the starting pitcher today for the Bees, Sam?
And the starting pitcher for the Burlington Bees, not a Division I product, Division II product out of Hawaii Pacific, and Shea Blanchard. Blanchard went 3-0 in his freshman campaign with the Sharks, and last summer he had a great summer ball season, had a .83 ERA in 11 innings pitched with the Port Angeles of the West Coast League. He's got a fastball, slider, changeup mix, but got a little bit into some hot water in his last start and got the loss in what was a blowout, 15-2 in O'Fallon.
Gave up 2 home runs in that game, looks to bounce back, and we'll have the tough first batter here in Gavin Arsenault. Liam Sample joined alongside Sam Egan. It's a beautiful day here in Burlington. High 70s throughout this game. We're going to see a ton of clouds, actually breaking into the high 80s, or low 80s, currently 82. Blanchard's ready. Arsenault's ready, and the first pitch up high, and that'll be called ball. Reese Moore, with his first start at catcher today, will be the man behind the plate, as him and Blanchard looking to be locked in throughout today's game. Blanchard, a California native, come from Laguna Beach. A very young pitcher attending Hawaii Pacific. The 1-0 here. This one swung on to be popped in the air to left. That'll be called. And caught on the warning track. A long run there from Donlin, but he'll make the first catch, and that'll take us right to the Burlington Bees defense. You saw Dunwald make the nice catch there and left it. Outside of Dunwald, that's going to be Figueroa, makes his debut in center. Donlin in right. The infield will be Agnew and Halloran on the left side. Halloran at short. Akers at second. Matthews at first. Moore catching, and then Blanchard with the star. So that'll bring us to the 2-hitter here in the lefty bat in Jackson Blemler. Arsenault got quite a piece of that all the way to left field. You heard Coach O in the pregame show say that had the game taken place at Community Field that Blanchard had pitching, those 2 balls may have not been home runs. Well, that ball is hit just about right to the wall, or probably around over 340 feet, Sam. But Dunwald tracked it and gets the catch for the first flyout. Now this one will be hit up the middle, and that'll be caught at short on a line drive from Halloran. So 2 up, 2 down here quickly as balls both put in play. And the Bees defense coming up clutch.
Some loud contact, but outs nonetheless, and they look the same in the stat sheet. So 2 quick outs here for the Bees, which is huge after a 35-pitch first inning last night. You want your starter to go as long as possible, and Blanchard being able to do so. And he only went 1 2/3 in his last start, so hoping to get some more longevity out of him tonight.
It's the Charger in Merritt Carter who comes out to the plate, and that was one of Sam Quinn-Loeb's pregame points. Sam was emphasizing that they've had starters who have gone length this year, 6-7 innings, and not touched that pitch limit, and the Bees trying to find that last night. They ran into that trouble going against Anthony Solis, who pretty much dominated the Bees for 6 innings yesterday. Now the 1-0 here on Carter. As that off-speed worked in there, will be called a strike. Our home plate umpire today will be Jacob Fisher. Our bases umpire will be James Cattrill. The 1-1 here with 2 outs. 2 contact outs here early for the Burlington Bees defense. Blanchard now deals another off-speed. That pitch will go up high in the zone. Tonight is the Office Olympics night, so expect a lot of different office-themed celebratory actions to occur during the games, including maybe, I'm told, some sound effects throughout, so we'll see if our Mike could pick that one up. Should be a fun one here for you Office fans out there. Now the 2-1 will be swung on to short. This time on the ground, Halloran will not be able to field the bounce, and that'll go into center field. So the errors hurt the Bees last night. Gave up 6 runs, only 1 of which were earned. And then early, it'll be an error off of Boston Halloran. So an E6, and that'll send Carter to the base here and bring up the leadoff or the cleanup hitter here in Trey Rockerbomber.
It was an error to shortstop yesterday that drove in a run for the pistol strip early on, but unfortunately for the Bees here, they're already in a rough hole, and an error that looked like that was going to get them out of the inning could not do so, and we'll see if the extra outs pay in the advantage of Jackson.
Nice off-speed worked in there from Blanchard. He's missed the spot a couple times with a similar pitch. That time able to work it in here on Rockerbomber. Emporia State University attendee. It's a Division II school in the MIAA. Now the runner on first after the early error. Another pitch worked on the inside of the plate for the lefty bat in Rockerbomber. That'll work it to an 0-2 count here. Aggressive strike throwing from Blanchard. Drew his first 2 outs and then contact in the last after the error was registered at short. Jackson red hot have won 2 straight, or 4-2 in conference play this season. Second season in the Prospect League. This one ground to the right side will be fielded. Throw to Matthews will be in time. So in and out of trouble here. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base here. Blanchard draws a ton of contact, but keeps it in the range of his defense as the Bees out of trouble here early. The Bees come up for the first time when we return after this short break. And welcome back. It's Matt Maloney who takes the mound here for the Jackson Rockabillies. Maloney, a McKenna, Illinois native, and did not play this in his first season at the University of Evansville. Originally attended Southwest Illinois in 22-23, played in 13 games of 11 starts with a 3-3 overall record. A lot of strikeouts for him, 46 strikeouts. Had 3 in his first game in 3.1 innings of work. What do you like to see today from Maloney, Sam?
I'd like to see just, get that mix going that he's had in his high school career. Obviously didn't get any playing time at Evansville, but Evansville proven to be one of the best college teams in the country, competing at a super regional and hanging in there with the best team in the country in Tennessee. But I'm looking for Maloney to just dial in and give us a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. Blanchard has a 27 ERA coming into this ball game, and that's very unlike Shea Blanchard, who's pitched very well everywhere he's went. So I expect him to have a very shut-down start and find his footing a little bit, and I expect Maloney to kind of do the same here in his first start tonight, or his second start here tonight.
Had a really good last sophomore season at Southern Western Illinois. Like you said, did not pitch this season at the University of Evansville one time this season where he didn't go that length that this Jackson Rockabilly's pitching staff is known for. Had the 11th best ERA in the league. And it'll be the first at-bat for Jace Figueroa, the Southeastern Community College attendee, a West Burlington native. Like Sam said on the pregame show, with a good season this year could potentially be the mayor of Burlington, having a successful career at a Burlington high school, a good year at SCC, and now trying to make it a good year for the summer ball team in the Burlington Bees. First pitch of his Bees career will be a check swing go foul up the left side to make the count 0-1.
Win not a factor tonight as it was last night for those left-handed hitters. Wind is basically not moving at all as opposed to last night, where it was up to 15 miles an hour.
As another pitch fouled off here, it's the Office Olympic Nights at Community Field. Tomorrow, these two teams will face off at 6:30 for family game night and fireworks. One of my favorite things that Coach O has ever told me, Sam, is that when the team wins, he'll stay and watch the fireworks. When the team doesn't win, he will not, as the 0-2 will go up high in the zone to make it 1-2. So I guess he could be saying, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious for Coach O.
One-two offering, and Big Arrow doing a good job of just making contact and extending the at-bat. And the Bees were doing a good job of limiting the amount of pitches by Rockabilly hitters last inning, and we'll see if the Bees can extend at-bats.
Figueroa with a good at-bat. That was something that Coach O focused on when he talked to me pregame. Pitch on the outside, now making the count 2-2 here. Figueroa fighting here in his first at-bat in the Prospect League. Went to the D2 Baseball World Series first round in the NJCAA. Very good season for SEC. This was one guy I know they're very excited to welcome as he swings and misses for the opening strikeout here. So 1 up, 1 down, and the K for Figueroa. We talked about how many strikeouts he had in his career at Southwestern Illinois, and picks up right where he left off here in his second start of the Prospect League.
Maloney only had 3 strikeouts in his last start, only went 3 1/3 in his last start. Really, it wasn't an issue with walks. He did a good job of finding the zone. He allowed 7 hits, though, so he's a big pitch-to-contact guy, and we'll see if these Bees hitters could put contact in the right spots. Akers takes the first pitch ball. Bellarmine bat, who's been swinging a good stick recently, 3 for 6 in his last game.
Akers been very strong this year from Louisville, Kentucky. It's actually the team MVP at St. Xavier. That was his high school. Still has not played for Bellarmine. 4 games so far this season, has 4 hits and 3 ribbies with a walk and a strikeout. Now the 2-0 count here. And that'll be worked in on the off speed, but won't be called. So the 3-0 here in a hitter's count for Akers. So we know that there's a lot of motivation to get the bats going, Sam. You think he's going to get the green light here in the 3-0?
I think not in this situation. You need to leave the pitch, as he does there. And might have been a hittable pitch, but I think in this situation you need base runners. The Bees, who haven't taken the lead first at home all year, have a chance to do so in this first inning.
18th most walks in the league with 29th, but their 30th of the season coming on that pitch to Landon Akers. So first runner on the base paths for the Burlington Bees today. And that is Landon Akers, who draws the opening walk to bring up number 21, Reese Moore. Moore has been hitting the cover off the ball since appearing in the starting lineup. Went 2 for 4 yesterday with an RBI and a strikeout. In 3 games so far this year, has 4 hits, 4 ribbies for a .444 batting average. He's been on fire, and this is one guy that Coach O shouted out before the game.
Multiple hits in both of his B games so far, and has a big swing there, trying to find a gap and potentially drive in what would be the go-ahead run early on in this ballgame.
General manager of the Burlington Bees, and Ted Gutman, told me yesterday he admires in Moore's aggressive style of swinging. Like you said, a big cut from him, but he's well known for that, as Maloney checking on the runner at first. Liam Sample joined alongside Sam Egan. Thanks for joining us here on Friday Night Baseball at Community Field. A warm, humid day here in Burlington, around 82 degrees with partially cloudy skies. Temperature will drop into the 70s by the end of today's game, as the Bees putting a runner on early from the early walk from Akers. A very different looking lineup after yesterday's loss to Illinois Valley. 6-3 the score, only 4 total hits. Moore with another big cut to make the count 1-2. So fighting here early is Akers, or excuse me, Reese Moore. Is Akers, who did fight to get on the base pads. Moore, an attendee of Iowa University for the Hawkeyes.
Akers looked like he was going to run on that last pitch, but decided against it and might have forced that swing for Moore.
Good take on the inside of the plate here from Moore. The defense today will be King at first, Blimler at second, Jones at short, and Carter at third. Rocker Bomber with the catcher. Arsenault, Jimenez, and Bowen make up the outfield from left to right. Here for the Jackson Rockabillies, who have been rolling. A huge win against one of the hottest teams in the league in Alton, Sam, last night. Did it with some pretty impressive hitting in the first 3 innings, posted 7 runs, and rode that to a victory by a really good effort from their pitching staff. Really good game today is Alton at O'Fallon, as they're going to check Akers again at first to no avail, so the count remains full here from Moore. 9 games in the Prospect League today, and one of them going on right here, a 4-game road trip for the Rockabillys. 3-2 count here on Moore. Runners on the move, and the swing and the miss for the strikeout. So 2 up and 2 down, both on the K. The walk breaking up those 2 guys, and now with 2 outs here, we'll bring up the cleanup hitter in Cooper Donlin.
I feel like Akers has to go on that pitch. Either you go or you don't, because it forces the batter to get distracted and swing the bat and doesn't focus solely on the pitch because of that, and forces the strikeout and 2 are away.
4 RBIs in 5 games for Cooper Donlin's been one of the best in terms of scoring runs, and they're going to need it here for a Bees team that only scored 3 yesterday, as Donlin quickly down 0-1 on the inside pitch. And Donlin struck on the inside for a hit by pitch. So that'll bring first at second here, as Donlin did not play yesterday. Comes back in the lineup and doinked his first time up. So first at second, 2 outs, as the Bees looking for a 2-out rally. And it'll bring up a guy in his last at-bat here at Burlington was one to remember, Sam. A walk-off home run against Illinois Valley, as the righty and Iowa Hawkeye back up at the plate.
That was his first hit as a Bee. He's gotten one more since and played in one more game since. Went 1 for 5 on Tuesday back at Illinois Valley. That was a heartbreaking loss for the Bees. And Matthews played a big part in that, so we'll see if he can have a big part here in this effort here tonight and hopefully be a winning effort.
As that pitch will get away from Rocker Bomber. Now the throw to second for the sliding Donlin will not be in time. So a pitch that gets away from the catcher and Rocker Bomber nearly threw out Donlin at second, but both runners into scoring position. So back to that walk-off home run from Eric Matthews back here on Sunday, Sam, told me his first walk-off home run, and then Coach O told me just about 10 minutes later that it was his first walk-off hit ever. So what a way to do it. And his first hit as a Burlington Bee drove that momentum into a good game at Illinois Valley earlier this week. Did not play yesterday, as he takes a pitch down in the dirt quickly 2-0 on Mr. Walk-Off himself.
And a little fun story. After the game, I actually went to go fetch that home run ball and was able to give it to Matthews after the game. He was ecstatic to get that ball and was more surprised than anything that he was able to retrieve it.
2-0 here. Matthews sat down with me yesterday for our pregame show, and a lot of positive things to say about this team. So he hits this one up the left side. It'll be fielded cleanly at third by Carter. Throw across the diamond will be in time. So the Bees put 2 on the base with no hits. Strand 2. As we head to the second inning here, still a 0-0 game with no hits. So when we return here, it'll be the second inning here in Burlington.
Back here for the second inning at Community Field. A no-run first inning here in Burlington, Iowa. It seems like the first time we've seen that all year. Nothing across, no hits either, but for either side. And back out for the second inning for the Bees will be Shea Blanchard, a guy who's looking to find his footing after a rough first start. Couldn't even get out of the second inning in his previous start at O'Fallon. So we'll see if he could do that and much more here in today's ballgame, and he's at a good pace to do so. Did not throw many pitches back in that first inning, but forced a lot of contact.
Couldn't agree with you more on that point of contact. Sam did a really good job of that in the first inning. I was impressed by his ability to keep the ball in spots where his defense was able to get it. And you look at the ways he got outs, fly out, line out, and then a 4-3.
Snare in there as well. So any base runner that got on was through contact, and he's been a pitch contact guy, and we'll see if it continues to play with his benefit in the second inning here. Fires in the first pitch high, and it's called for a strike here to Will Bowen. Blanchard played at Hawaii Pacific, was a Shark with them, and played fantastic in his freshman campaign. Fires in the low pitch there, and it's 1-1.
No matter what level of college you see any of these guys in the Prospect League go to, a lot of them don't play their first years. We see that theme a lot on this B staff. Blanchard is one who got a ton of reps at Hawaii Pacific in his first season. Had a bit of nerves in his first start. We'll see if he can kind of put those behind him.
Fires in a nice slider there that goes towards the inside corner and called for a strike, so it'll be 1-2 to a tough bat in Bowen.
Yes, a sneaky guy to throw in your 5-hole for Will Bowen, like you mentioned.
Pitch on the outside does not get the call. It'll be 2-2. So a good idea with the fastball on the outside after going a slider on the inside portion of the plate. And although it was a tough miss, it's a really good competitive pitch and forces the hitter to be looking all over the plate.
I'm really impressed, Sam, with the experience.
2-2 offering. It's a slider. Bounces over Blanchard's head. It's going to be a tough play. Bare hand and thrown away. So a tough play that could not be made there by Skylar Agnew. And because of it, the error goes past Matthews and will result in Bowen going to second.
Yeah, so we'll see how it's statted. If that's an error, that's officially the second error on this Bees infield. The errors really, really hurt them last night. Thrown up initially on the scoreboard as a hit.
I believe it's going to go as a hit, then an error. So it was going to be a tough play nonetheless. So it'll be a hit for Bowen, but goes for an error on the throw as he gets second base.
So let's hit number 4 on the season for Bowen. Has played consistently well in the outfield this season.
The runner in scoring position here and nobody out. See if Blanchard can get out of this mini jam here.
Yeah, so the E5 thrown on, that's 2 on the Bees here early. As I was saying, Sam, I'm pretty impressed with the experience of this Jackson lineup. It goes junior, sophomore to open it up, and then your first freshman in Brogdon Jones at the plate currently.
6, 7, 8 here up for the Rockabillys. Brogan Jones in 227 so far in the early season. He's appeared in 7 games, 7 of 8 for the Rockabilly, so he's seen a lot of time early on in the season. And he takes a really close pitch there from Blanchard, an inside fastball that does not get the call. It'll be 2-0.
Jones, an East Tennessee State University attendee, all the way from Gray, Tennessee. So what's fun about playing these teams that are so far away, with Jackson, Tennessee being about 8 hours away, you get to see players from all over the country and a lot of Tennessee guys on this Rockabilly's roster.
Jones takes another pitch there. Slider called for a strike, and Jones has had one of the best eyes in the Prospect League. He's taken 8 walks already early on in the season. As a result, his on-base percentage is at .433.
Yeah, a really good start, like you said, statistically for him this year.
See if it can get on base again here and create a really tough situation for the Bees as the slider is launched into right field. Going to be a tough play for Donlin, but he makes the catch, and the runner's going to tag for third, and Bowen will take it.
Yeah, so almost a mock sack fly, if you will. Doesn't score a runner, but able to move one over. An interesting sequence there.
And we'll see here if the Bees decide to move their infield in with runs being so valuable and add a premium for their offense, or they'll concede the run on a ground ball.
Yeah, we'll wait to see what the defense opts to do. Like you said, keeping them off the scoreboard is going to be ideal here for the Bees. They've really struggled to hit the ball, and last night was another case of that.
Corners are in. The middle infield is back, so if it's hit to the middle side of the field, it will likely be a run. Brings up Julian Jimenez. Jimenez takes the first pitch, and it's called a strike. So Blanchard doing a good job again that first pitch strike, and we'll see if he can get a big out here. He's not picked up a strikeout yet in this ballgame. Would be a huge time for him to pick up his first.
Drawing a lot of contact, which may not be ideal with the runner on third. This is a big situation here for both Jackson to potentially get on the board. We're high scoring last night, 7 runs in the first 3 innings against Alton.
Fired in a high pitch there, called a ball there. So evens the count 1-1. Jimenez has not had a great start to his year. 1 for 15, hitting under 100 to begin the season, and takes a pitch that is called a strike. So good job of Blanchard after going inside on a couple of pitches to attack the outside, get a call, and it's 1-2 on a guy who's struggled all year.
Yeah, it was a really nice pitch there from Blanchard, ability to bounce back. Now, big situation with the 1-2. Curious to see what will come.
Only 2 strikeouts for Jimenez on the year, so although he's been struggling to put the ball in play and get production, he has been putting the ball in play, just unfortunately bad luck.
Now part of the Utah Valley School, but played at Milwaukee Tech, where he had 44 RBIs in the previous season, Sam.
1-2 on Jimenez as Blanchard asks for a new ball. Hoping that ball can produce his first strikeout of the ball game. The runner on third. 0-0 here. Blanchard's 1-2 with one out. A slider that's grounded to second. That'll score the run, but that'll get the second out of the inning, and bases will be cleared.
I mean, you can't draw it up any better. A little bit of small ball situation. Runner gets a second on the air, and then able to bring him home on a almost a mock sack fly, and then the ground ball there to get the RBI.
So Caden Conant, the designated hitter who's batting eighth here in the Rockabilly's lineup. So once again, the Bees fall behind early here at Community Field. First pitch fired in on the outside, called for a ball on Blanchard. So he's been loving that first pitch on the outside, whether it's a right-hander or a lefty, but could not get the strike call there, just misses his spot. It's 1-0.
143 batting average for Katie Content, really trying to get it going. He does have the 400 on base. So had the ability to get on base, just not a ton of hits for him. We'll see what he could do here, down already up 2-0, excuse me.
So struggles from the bottom of this order from getting some big-time hits, at least early on. But that has not stopped this Jackson team from winning some big ball games. Taking an early lead in their division.
Jackson has the 9th most hits in the league, 5th most runs, and 3rd most RBIs. I mean, those aren't necessarily eye-popping numbers. It's still early, Sam, so they've done it on both sides of the ball really well with their pitching. That was something that head coach Quinn Loeb told me a lot before this game.
Only their second year in the Prospect League, only 16 wins last year, the 5th least in the Prospect League ever. Came to Jackson after minor league team, the AA Jackson Generals, disbanded after Major League Baseball's renovation of the minor league system, and it also caused Burlington to lose their minor league team as well, as that ball's fouled off and will have a full count.
Dennis Bastian was the former commissioner for multiple years of the Prospect League, actually purchased this team last season and now has been converted to the full-time owner of the Jackson Rockabillies with the new commissioner slotting in this season.
Now a full count here, and he's done a great job in his tenure here, turning that team around from last year. It's a 3-2, fired in, outside, does not get the call, and it's ball four. So you mentioned that 400 on-base percentage, and yet another walk here from Conant, and extends the inning for one more batter, and it'll be the 9-hole hitter in Stan King.
While it's intentional not, with 2 outs, they've gone a base runner on both times, had the error in the last inning, and then a walk here. Jackson already got one in this inning, and now looking for more, Sam.
Conant had 143 on the year. Another guy who has a 400 on base. 6 walks for him on the year, but also 8 strikeouts. So a true 3-outcome guy. As he drives one into right field, carrying, and that baby will go. So I mentioned the 3-outcome guy in King, and first pitch drives one over the right center field fence, and it is a 3-0 lead for the Rockabillies.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you had the throwing error in the first time. Felt like Blanchard had a lot of control after that first inning, and Jackson doing it here well with 2 outs, already up 3-0.
So letting it slip away here. So a 2-out walk is killer. So instead of being out of the inning, he surrenders 2 more runs, and a Bees offense who has struggled at going needs to help his pitcher out and pick him up.
Yeah, tough sequence there for Blanchard. Now to see his mental resilience if he's able to bounce back. It's already his 3rd home run given up in the early parts of the season, Sam.
Arsenault, the top of the lineup here for the Rockabillies, and already in the second inning here and getting his second at-bat. So flew out back in the first inning and made really, really good contact. That ball narrowly left, so we'll see how his approach changes, if it does, after that great at-bat.
Back to the top of the order, Arsenault. A really, really effective hitter in limited 3 games this season. Now working the set count early. He did hit that first ball very hard, Sam, all the way to left, but Dunwall tracked and made a nice play.
A 688 on-base percentage early on to start. Only at 14 plate appearances, but impressive nonetheless. And takes a big cut and a miss on a slider there. So 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning, and it would be huge to limit it where it's at and keep the damage control for Blanchard at just 3. Can't let this ball game completely slip away early on with the struggles of the season. The 1-2 from Blanchard. That ball skied. Going to be a tough play, and looks like it'll be out of play. And Fan drops it off the palm of his hand. Had looked like the peanuts in one hand and tried making the play with his right hand, and unfortunately for that, Fan pops off the hand and out.
Yeah, really for this inning, Sam, how the turntables have occurred. A 3-2 count on Content, drew the walk, and then a home run the next batter later to make it 3-0 when it could have been 1-0, one pitch away.
So a 1-2, and needs to limit the inning where it's at. After having a rough start to his Prospect League season, fires in a 1-2. Another pop fly. This one will stay in play. Calling it a Agnew, and that's out number 3. So a crooked number on the board for the Rockabillys, and this Bees offense needs to start clicking. Heading to the bottom half. Back here, bottom 2 after a 3-run top half from the Jackson Rockabillys, and this Bees offense needs to get going. 6, 7, 8 here for the Bees. It's Agnew, Dunwald, and Lindquist. Looking for what has been the best 9 for this Bees team, at least so far, to get it going. Agnew at 286 in 50 games played at Hawaii Pacific. Also drove in 30 runs. Not an RBI chance for him here, obviously, him leading off the second, but need him to get on base and create some runners. And driving in runners has been the biggest weakness for this Bees team as Agnew, hacks and misses and quickly down in an 0-2 hole.
This pitcher in Maloney moves quick, throws a lot of aggressive stuff, really attacks that outside of the plate for the lefty bats.
See if he attacks his zone here. No, goes outside. Not competitive, and Agnew lays off on a fastball. It's 1-2.
While this isn't a favorable matchup, he's kind of making it a favorable matchup in a way as he's forcing Agnew to chase on the outside of the zone. Got the 2 strikes there and then threw a ball there the last time.
And he attacks inside. Agnew pops one into right field. Going to be a tough play racing and just out of the reach of Will Bowen, and he might be hurt.
Yeah, so a bench out there where the bullpen guys sit on. Bowen made the long run over there, tripped on the bench, and he either hit a bag of balls right after, and he still will be down, so the trainer will make her way out there alongside a head coach, Sam Quinn Loeb. Could force an early substitution there. Just an unfortunate play for Bowen, who was trying to make a play.
Bowen, who singled back in the top half of the second inning and was trying to make an incredible play and just narrowly out of his reach, and fortunately did not see that bench out there in the right field bullpen, and obviously a massive cause for concern for the Rockabillys.
Yeah, so the trainer quickly up and out from the Burlington dugout here. So we just have to wait and see, really hoping for the best for Bowen, who just had a really unfortunate collision out there and right with the bench and the bullpen.
It's a tremendous hustle play from Bowen, putting everything on the line to try and make that play on a foul ball that was probably 75 feet to his right, at least.
So good to see him be able to move around on his own power, kind of trying to make an effort in getting up here. Still as the trainer over there alongside some more staff for the Burlington Bees. Now does get up on his own power and taking some steps here. We'll look to see if he can remain in this game. As a well-deserved round of applause from both teams and the Burlington faithful. We've been fortunately through 5 home games this season, Sam. Haven't dealt with too many injuries here so far. We did see a play go off of the starting pitcher and Solis's ankle last night. He waved it off, and it's good to see Bowen be able to get up on his own.
Looks like he's going to stay in this ball game here, so maybe just got the wind knocked out of him there, which obviously is very scary, but good for Bowen to get right back up and field his position. Nonetheless, this still extends the inning for the Bees. Agnew getting the second chance here. See what he does here on a 1-2 offering from Maloney.
Yeah, I wonder if it gives him time to process what the types of pitches he saw. We'll see if Maloney can reset.
Maloney quickly going to work and fires in a slider on the low outside portion of the plate, and throw on the drop third. Almost gets away from Rock Bomber, but still able to get the out.
Yeah, so what I've noticed so far about Maloney, Sam, it's the off-speed that's really been devastating for him. Another one to Agnew, and for the lefty bat, he just couldn't chase that one on the outside of the plate. I'm really loving the off-speed, and then to pair that with the location here on the outside for lefties and then on the inside for righties.
Here's Cedric Dunwald, who had a good bat to the majority of this season, but in his last outing went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, so trying to improve the quality of his at-bats here and put something in play.
Yeah, gets a day off to reset, but like you mentioned, has 5 hits throughout 19 at-bats this season. This is AB number 20 for him, and already up 2-0.
Well, it's still hitting 263 for the Bees, taking 2 early on pitches, and we'll see what he does here, which is probably going to be a fastball line to third base, and will be out number 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's a swinger's count for Dunwald. It's not like he didn't get a good strike on it, made good contact, but it was just unfortunately on the left side. One thing that Sam Quinn Loeb really, really emphasized to me, Sam, was the importance of the team's defense. And with how last night went with the 3 errors for the Bees, we kind of are starting to understand how important defense is in the league. And it's not surprising for such an experienced coach and Quinn Loeb to emphasize that point.
So we saw a lot of errors between pretty much every team in the first few games, and it's kind of settled down between the opponents we've seen for the most part, and at least early on for the Bees, the defense has still been kind of shaky.
Yeah, and so to see a head coach kind of emphasize the importance of defense, Sam, it goes to show how crucial it is in this league, especially with when I asked him, like, why have you guys been so hot? And defense was one of the first things he said up to me.
So a 2-0 count, back-to-back at-bats. We'll see if he gives him another hittable fastball, which Maloney just struggling to find the zone. That's 3 straight pitches that have not really even been close.
I'm almost more impressed, not to cut you off, with Maloney against lefty bats here, as weird as that sounds, because he attacks the inside of the plate for righties, and he's having trouble locating that spot here.
Usually you see the opposite, having a good time with the righties, especially with the slider mix. But it's been the opposite here with the lefties. But 3-1 count here to Lindquist, and another one off the outside, and that's ball 4.
Like, even that at-bat there is more emphasizes that point of lefties there. He's trying to find that inside spot, and he just can't in a weird way. So he tries to go on the outside of the plate, missing consecutive pitches here and giving the Bees a free base.
And it'll bring up Boston Halloran. So the Bees stranded 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs last inning. And in the top half of the second inning, 2 outs, Jackson was able to pick up a walk, and the next pitch was able to hit a home run. And we'll see if Halloran can do the same here. First pitch called for a strike. Obviously, that's lofty goals for Halloran. Obviously, just trying to extend the inning, and a 2-out rally is what killed the Bees in the top half, and we'll see if they can give a taste of their own medicine here in the bottom half. Halloran takes 2 pitches, both on the outside portion of the plate, called for strikes. Both were fastballs, and the off-speed, which has been working all day for Maloney, is definitely in play on the 0-2. 0-2 offering for Maloney, working quick. Another fastball as Halloran pops this ball up into the outfield. It'll be caught by the shortstop in Jones, and that'll be 3rd out. So the Bees have stranded 3 runners early on, and that has been the key, as the Rockabillys have not stranded any. 3-0 heading, top 3.
So with it being Office Olympics nights here at Community Field, some office theme on-field promotions. We saw in the last time a race between a couple of kids here at the park where they had to attach paper boxes to their shoes. A really creative event here in Office. Obviously can go for the type of equipment we're going to see throughout these on-field promotions, but also being able to see in the show. It's at the top of the third here. It's 3-0 Jackson, a 2-run home run by Stan King the last time they were up. The damage here, Blanchard remains in the game. As we return, Liam Sample here joined alongside Sam Egan. A cloudier day at Community Field as Blanchard looking to bounce back. He'll be Blemler, the first batter, as he lines this one into center field. That'll be called and caught on one knee by the newbie in Figueroa. And that's one pitch, one out here for Blanchard, looking for a big bounce back inning.
And that's exactly what the Bees needed there from Blanchard after a long second inning. He had a very quick first inning. Looking for the same thing here in the third inning to give his bullpen some length after a quick outing from them last outing.
Gulf South Conference in Merrick, or I guess member in Merrick Carter at the place, went 2 for 3 with 2 runs and a strikeout last time he was up as he fouls off the first pitch. Blanchard, rostered at 5'11", 185, does have the length and the size. Now in his longest appearance of the season, he went 1.2 innings pitched at O'Fallon. That was the last time he started. There's another pitch on the outside of the plate. We'll make it 1-1. So 2 pitchers looking to bounce back. Maloney didn't have his best stuff in his first start in the Prospect League. He went 3.1 innings pitched with 7 hits and 4 earned runs. Now the 1-1 will be lined on the outside of the plate to make the count 2-1. So those are back-to-back off-speeds missed away on the lefty bat here in Carter. Another Tennessee native from Shelbyville for the sophomore infielder. This pitch will be popped into left field. It's going to be a long run, but caught on the move.
No, he dropped it.
Actually will be dropped here by Dunwald. So we'll wait to see how this one is statted, whether it be a hit or error. Likely an error for Dunwald out and left. A rare mistake for usually a pretty locked down outfielder.
So what is the likely third error of the ball game for the Bees, and what would have been the second out on another costly error, and it really bit them last inning, and we'll see if it happens again here as the Bees continue to give the Rockabillys extra outs.
Double play ball in play. A 2-run home run last time they had a runner on bases. This one fouled off by Rocker Bomber, the cleanup hitter today. Looks like it will be a hit, Sam, because now will be the third of the day for Jackson. So Carter coming up with a single. And the 0-1. Down low, good take there. That's hit number 8 on the season for Merrick Carter. A really good year so far to start up his season in the Prospect League. 8 walks, and now the hits here. That's his first not his first, as the runner will take off. Throw to second will be short away. Nice play from Halloran to come across and catch that strange bounce. So Merrick Carter truly doing it on all sides of the ball. 7 hits, or now 8 hits, 5 doubles, and then his third stolen base right there to put a runner in scoring position.
I was about to mention 2 for 2 on the year in stolen base attempts, so definitely a threat to go, and an advantage count there. He decides to go and puts himself in scoring position.
So the 2-1 count here on Rocker Bomber. As Blanchard deals another pitch on the inside, fielded well from Moore behind the plate, but won't be fielded into the strike zone to make the count 3-1.
42 pitches for Blanchard so far, and that low-ish pitch count is credited to a very solid first inning, and we'll see if he can continue that here into the third.
Time will be called here. Rocker Bomb only 1 RBI this season and a batting average under 100. 3 hits so far for Jackson, their third, plus a stolen base, puts a runner on second. Now this one hit hard up the right side, and that'll be a base hit. Runner will be set home here as Rocker Bomber will score. So that's RBI number 2 on the season for the cleanup hitter. And the 4th hit of the game for Jackson puts them up 4-0 here early.
So although it was called a hit, I think that it should definitely be an unearned run to Blanchard after it was not called an error on that previous fly ball in the left field. So giving away an extra out indeed does result in a run, and we'll see if it continues to pile up for the Bees.
So that'll bring up Bowen here. Had a single his last time up, was able to reach second on an error. And now the ball gets away from Moore here and moving the runner over to second in Rocker Bomber. So just like that, another runner in scoring position for Jackson, who's not done and looking for more. It's 7 runs in the first 3 innings. And right now, Sam, looks like they're on pace to do so. Some movement in the Bees bullpen.
Quickly getting some movement. Pitching was not really the issue for the Bees last night. Of course, their bullpen really shut it down after started to not have his best outing last night. So we'll see if they can continue to do it again. But this Bees offense, who has been stagnant all year long and is facing another 0 so far and not even a hit so far in this ballgame.
Zahner went 3 innings yesterday in the start with 5 hits and only 1 earned run, Sam. And that was the only earned run this Burlington Bees staff gave up. Did give up a 3-run home run. That was off the arm of Bobby Helt. However, we counted as unearned. As a 1-1 with the runner on second. It's a sophomore in Bowen, who will swing and misses that one. A big bounce back pitch from Blanchard. Now puts him in an interesting situation here.
Bowen singled in his last at bat and had that collision with the right field bench in the bullpen back in the bottom half, but it seems to be okay and is ready for his next at bat.
Now the 1-2 with 1 out. Another pitch on the outside, and that'll be a backwards K. The first strikeout of the game for Blanchard. And 2 out here with a runner on second. That's a big bounce-back pitch from Blanchard.
Backdoor slider from Blanchard that absolutely fools Bowen. And Bowen had some words with the home plate umpire trying to figure out where exactly that pitch was. But according to home plate umpire Jacob Fisher, it had the outside corner.
It's Brogdon Jones who comes up 0 for 1 in this game. The righty bat now with the runner on second. Another pitch worked inside the strike zone. Is that off speed again to make the count 1-0-1? 4-game homestand for the Bees. Will play Jackson tomorrow, trying to snap a bit of an inconsistent stretch. The ball grounded up the left side. It'll be fielded cleanly by Agnew at third. A throw across the diamond will be in time. So 2 hits and 1 run, but 1 left on base here for Blanchard. It's 4-0. Jackson here through 3.5 innings. When we return, the Bees bats trying to get it going for the first time today. We talked about it in the pregame show. Sam, Coach O, holding a conversation with his players today, trying to fire up his batters. And we'll see if what he says pays off here, as they're still hitless as we head to the bottom of the third. 4-0 for Jackson here. Have only left 2 runners on base. A 2-run shot from Stan King in the bottom of the second, paired with an RBI single from Rocker Bomber, doing damages here as it's already 4-0 early.
Bees have left 3 runners on 2 in scoring position, and now the top of the lineup for the Bees will get to face Maloney in the second time through, and we'll see if they have any more success than they had first time through.
So back to the top of the order here. Second at-bat of the Burlington career for Jace Figueroa. I shouldn't say Burlington career, as Burlington guy, SEC guy, and now Burlington B really caps off with the Burlington B trio, if you will. Maybe the Burlington B triathlon.
He lays down a bunt, or tries to at least, on that first pitch, but high and outside miss from Maloney, and we'll see if Figueroa continues to lay down that bunt.
And here it is up the left side. We'll see his blistering pace, and that'll just go foul. A really nice play there from Carter at third. Nearly put his glove on it, but we'll just let it trickle foul and make the count 1-1.
So you see the speed from Figueroa trying to lay down that bunt, and almost got himself a hit, but unfortunately just got the wrong part of the grass and rolled foul.
Yeah, a testament to his speed. He was almost at first base by the time that pitch went foul. And, folks, it wasn't in play for too long, so we'll see if he goes to a similar idea here. Carter does not move on that left side, so if Figueroa in the lefty bat wants to go there again, may have the space to do so.
Third base is still shifted back, so threat to do so.
And we'll try it again. This one will be just going foul again. This time it was Rocker Bomber who made the call. A quick triangle form between Carter Maloney and then Rocker Bomber who just watched it go foul. And now Figueroa trying to get cute and down 1-2.
That last bunt was a little bit softer than his previous squeeze, and fortunately for him, rolled foul and wasn't really close. So we'll see what he does here with 2 strikes and has to swing the bat here, you would think.
So a 1-2 count here for Figueroa. Struck out his first time, now trying to avoid the 2 Ks in the first 2 times up. As this one will be swung on into center field, it'll be charged and caught by Jimenez out in second. So the fly out here to the 8-man, and Jimenez will get the Bees their first out of the inning.
And Akers, who reached in his last time on a walk, and one of only 3 base runners for the Bees early on, but he was stranded at third back in the first, so we'll see if he can play it across a big run for the Bees and one they absolutely need.
As this first pitch will be swung on, fielded by Carter at third, throw across. The infield will get away from King at first. He'll tap on first here, so he'll quickly charge for second and will make it in there safely. So the errors come back to help the Bees. The first one on the day from Jackson, allowing Akers to not only reach but get to second. He's been on twice today, and Coach Joe with a round of applause of approval for his young player.
And the Bees with the runner in scoring position and less than 2 outs absolutely need to get this run across with the heart of their lineup coming up. Merrick Carter, who's had a great day at third base, at least so far, has seen a lot of action there. Some really hard hit balls, and unfortunately for Carter there, just could not take his time and set his feet on that throw as he has in his previous 3 attempts, and results in a throwaway and puts that runner in scoring position.
2 for 4 yesterday for Reese Moore. An absolutely decorated career for Moore as he pops this one into right field. Akers will tag. That'll be called and caught by Bowen. Akers will show off his speed to third. He'll make it there safely. So a not statted, but mock sack fly there from Akers moves the runner to third, and it'll be the RBI leader for the Burlington Bees and Cooper Donlan's task to try to bring it home.
And Reese Moore just missed that. He was trying to find a gap there, and fortunately for him, did not hit that ball hard enough. And if it was a day like yesterday, who knows what that ball could have done with the wind doing what it was. But no wind here tonight, and results in just a flyout, and that's out number 2.
Donlan, Hawaii Pacific currently plays. Also played at Oakland in 2021 and 22. Now, first pitch he sees will be a big swing and a miss. Donlan did not play yesterday, but does have the 4 ribbies on the year, which is the most among any B. It's a 6'11 slugging and a 455 on base. The 0-1 here, pitch on the inside. That'll be the second hit by pitch here for Donlan. So I don't know if Maloney's got some beef or some kind of issue, but he struck Donlan twice, and now first and third here with 2 outs.
Well, Donlan has a little bit of a funky bat motion as we've seen it. Just wiggles the bat back and forth, and I think that may be a little bit of a distraction to Maloney, and it's caused him to hit him for the second time in as many at-bats.
And you pair that, too, with the fact that Donlan crowds the plate pretty heavily for especially a guy who comes in on the left-hand side of the plate. So he struck again, 2 hit by pitches, and I'm sure with how lackluster the Bees' offense has been in the last few games, they're going to take any base here. Merrick Matthews, just 1 bat removed from the walk-off home run as he hits this one hard up the left side, and that's a base hit. Merrick Matthews continues to deliver here at Community Field, an RBI single, and Burlington on the board thanks to the Iowa Hawkeye.
So Matthews in his last at-bat lined one to third base, but unfortunately the third baseman Carter just made a good play and was able to rob him of a base hit that would have drove in probably a couple runs, and this RBI opportunity with 2 outs, Matthews drives it a little bit further past the third baseman in between short and third, and this time no one can get there and drives in a run.
So that'll bring up Skylar Agnew here, a fellow Hawaii Pacific guy, now coming up to the plate. So Matthews with the first hit of the game for the Burlington Bees, and the RBI makes it 4-1 here at Community Field. So the Bees finally on the board, and some life injected into the faithful here at the Hive.
Forced a mound meeting there. Agnew had 30 RBIs at Hawaii Pacific, also 3 home runs, and home run here would tie this ball game up and send Community Field into a frenzy.
2 outs, first and second now. Maloney will deal the off-speed on the outside. It's been a very efficient day from Maloney. He tends to throw strikes early in the count. It was Moore who turned on one for the fly out to move the runner to third, and then Matthews who turned on his first pitch for the RBI single. Now a 1-0 count here early on Agnew. So you have, the pitch goes way on the inside there. Donlin will take off for third, slides in there, and will be out. So a rally cut short by the great throw from Rocker Bomber to Donlin at third. 1 run on 1 hit for Burlington, the Burlington Bees, and 2 more stranded on base. Have stranded 5 on base in the first few innings here as we head to the fourth. 4-1 the score here in Burlington.
Top 4 coming up here at Community Field here in Burlington, and the Bees with an absolutely suffocating end to their rally there in the bottom half of the third, and an opportunity there to really cut into this deficit here that has been a big hold that has been given by the Rockabillys. And unfortunately for the Bees, absolutely suffocating end, like I mentioned, getting thrown out at third. One of the big sayings in baseball is you absolutely cannot have the first or third out of an inning at third base. And Donlin, who thought that ball got away from the catcher and was just trying to put himself in a better position to score, and unfortunately for him, that's the end of the inning. So only 1 left on base there for the Bees, technically, but could have been a lot more for the Bees. Ends in just 1, and they remain down 3. So 4 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for the Rockabillys, and 1 run on 1 hit and 2 errors for the Bees. So back here, top 4, and back here for the 4th inning of work is Shea Blanchard. First pitch skied into left field and fouled off towards homers at third on the left side of the field.
Yesterday, it was the Bees who gave up 14 hits, but only gave up 1 earned run, so they were leaving runners on base like there was no other. Now they're on the other side of that curse, Sam. Already 4 runners left on base in the first 3 innings at the plate.
You can't imagine Coach Reskovich is thrilled at all with the ending of that inning as that ball's lined in left center field. Donlin's not going to be able to get there. Dunwald, as that'll be into the gap, and that'll be a leadoff double to start the 4th inning.
Nice work there from Jimenez after that foul ball. Thought he had got a good piece of it, was just a little bit too late, and the next pitch strikes a deep double into left field. No chance for Dunwald there. It's a good gap struck by Jimenez.
So after grounding out in his first at-bat, second time through the order and seeing Blanchard, he has no trouble with it there, and a runner in scoring position, no one away, and we'll see what the Rockabillys do here after surrendering that run last inning.
Yeah, quick response for them already, like you mentioned. A lot of really good games going on. Some of the top teams in the league. O'Fallon already up 5-2 on Alton. That's a game I'm definitely looking at. And then Clinton 4-0 on Illinois Valley. It's a battle for the division in the Northwest that the Bees are currently in. Clinton currently in first with a 4-2 record. And Illinois Valley nipping at their heels with a 6-3 record, but Clinton with a statement first inning there to lead 4-0.
So Caden Conan at the dish. He walked with 2 outs back in the second inning, and that led to the 9-hole hitter in Stan King hitting a big home run, the difference in this ball game, at least so far. And second pitch strike there from Blanchard, so good job of mixing up his pitches and fooling the hitter there on 1-1.
2 arms up in the Bees bullpen here. It's not a question of how long he can go. It's a question of when for Blanchard.
See if Blanchard, how much longer he can extend his outing here. Misses on a 1-1 and falls behind 2-1.
And I mean, if it ends right here, 5 hits and 4 runs isn't ideal, but after the 2 home runs given up in his last start and just under 2 innings of work, it's good to see him bounce back, maybe at least getting a little more length, Sam.
Definitely a lot more length than his last start, only went an inning and 2/3, so a lot better of a start from him here, but still not a great start by any means here for the Bees, and not what they needed considering how much innings they had going from their bullpen last night. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A strikeout would go a long way for Blanchard.
There's 5 different pitchers who came into the game yesterday for Burlington, so maybe just trying to shut that down just a little bit more.
2-2. He strikes out on a slider. Drop third. I guess not, even though there was no runner on first base. So, for whatever reason, Conant puts a stop to his run towards first base, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, really nice pitch there from Blanchard. I really liked how he's mixing his off speed along with a lot of pitches over the plate. That time got the nice pitch that drove the swing and a miss for the K. First strikeout of the game, or second strikeout of the game for him of the backwards K in the last inning.
Now maybe the toughest hitter in this lineup, at least so far in the 9-hole hitter, and Stan King, and he takes another big swing. I mentioned in his last at-bat, really a true 3-outcome guy, as 8 walks, 6 strikeouts on the season, and you saw his first home run there, and he took a big hack at that one.
King from Arizona Christian University, when he was at community college, did have a home run and 19 RBIs.
Looking to add to that RBI total here with the runner on second base. Already 2 in this ball game here. Early candidate for player of the game.
Only 2 left on base for Jackson. They've done it efficiently here, so have 2 outs to play with to try to bring Jimenez on second home.
Inefficient so far, and we'll see if they can do it again. Scoring 3 in the second, 1 in the third. Runner on the move. That ball skied right center field, but not deep enough, and it'll be caught. See if they can double him off at second. Not in time after a great throw from Donlin, and he gets that second out nonetheless. So, runner that was in motion.
So Coach O thought that Jimenez didn't touch third, I believe is the call. It's a little bit of confusion here since he took off before that ball is put into play. They won't get the call, and it'll just be 2 outs.
So I believe the call is they think he ran past third, and
Oh,
if he
okay.
ran past third, he'd have to touch third again. And he apparently did not do so. Or apparently did not run past the bag.
Yeah.
So did not matter that he didn't touch it again. So no out there for the Bees, which would have been a really awkward but huge double play and big momentum boost for the Bees. But nonetheless, could be a huge momentum boost for Blanchard if he gets out of this jam after the leadoff double. Getting 2 quick outs. Got the top of the lineup to deal with here, and Arsenault, who is 0 for 2 in this ball game.
Yeah, Blanchard with a little pump fake there, but you love to see the passion from Coach O. It's the guy that led the Bees to a pretty impressive run in the second half of the season, nearly to the playoffs. They finished 25-32, but played excellently here at Community Field, 17-12 record.
Arsenault, a great hitter, hitting .545 coming into the evening in a very short sample size, so his average starting to plummet a little bit here tonight, and the Bees doing a good job of getting a really tough hitter, one of the best, at least so far in the early going in the Prospect League, to get out. Obviously, that first out back in the first inning was nearly a home run, a warning track fly out that maybe on a different night could have left. 1-1 count to him here. Takes a pitch high and inside, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, and like you said, a different night or even a different stadium, Sam. It's deep out to that left field wall, plus you have the 2 series of ads to clear. I mean, you can get to that second half. It is recessed. You just couldn't get there, caught on the track by Dunwald.
Takes a pitch there and called a strike on the inside corner. So a beautiful fastball there from Blanchard to paint the inside corner right in the middle half. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and what would be a big pitch here for Blanchard to get out of this with no runs earned.
Yeah, with bullpen arms up, this could be one of the last pitches he throws. If he does get out of the jam, this is a big one for sure, like you mentioned, Sam.
Pitch number 64 on the way. Kicks and deals, and that ball skied left field. Dunwall, tough play, but makes the catch on the run, and that'll be out number 3. And Blanchard gets out of a tough jam.
Yeah, really nice sequence there. Dunwald making a nice catch out there and left.
Bottom four at Community Field. And it looks like Maloney is back out for his fourth inning of work. So Matt Maloney, the Evansville Purple A's, his team is in the Super Regionals for college baseball. After a little bit of a Cinderella run, taking down one of the toughest regionals in college baseball, took down Duke and Oklahoma. Another former B currently competing in the College World Series at Kansas State. So we'd like to send our good lucks to Mason Schwalbach, who is a catcher first baseman for the Wildcats at Kansas State, currently also competing in the Super Regional. His game's currently top of the sixth inning, 3-2. Wildcats are taking down the Virginia Cavaliers so far.
Yeah, like you said, and that's one that a lot of the Bees fans from last year will remember how good of a year Mason did have. Led the Bees in a ton of statistical categories, and I'm sure it's a bat they wish they had back this season, but best of luck to him out in Kansas State. Like you said, a pretty incredible run. It's such a fun time of year, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup playoffs, you have the baseball playoffs going on, and then Oklahoma was the champions of NCAA Division I softball yesterday at night.
I know you love your softball. Was very invested as that first pitch by Agnew is grounded to the first baseman in King, and he makes the play for a quick out, number one.
Yeah, I do love my softball. Pretty impressive to see the Sooners four-peat, not one, not two, not three, but 4 straight national championships. My school, actually, in Plattsburgh State, four-peated in women's hockey in the mid-2000s. So being a part of a school that was able to four-peat when I was a little younger, obviously I wasn't there at the time, it's a pretty cool feat and something that goes down. It's talked about quite a bit at P State.
Winning multiple championships in a row at any level is beyond impressive. 4 is just indescribable. So congrats to the Sooners on what has been an amazing last 4 years. And that's something that you bring in a class of freshmen, and every year they've won a championship, and they can graduate champions all 4 years. That's so rare and beyond incredible at the college level. So congratulations to them.
There was a girl that I got to commentate for. She won 4 national championships at Middlebury College for field hockey and won 1 for ice hockey. So might be one of the only people I've ever seen graduate with 5 rings.
Whole hand of rings for her, and that's very impressive and a flex that most people cannot have.
Yeah, 4 for field hockey, and then scored, I believe, the game winner against us this year in the quarterfinals of the NCAA championship for women's hockey. So, and then 1 tournament MVP for field hockey for her senior season. So she just really had ice in her veins and did it well, getting 5 rings. It was pretty impressive.
No pun intended, and absolute athlete on the field. Bees looking for some athletic plays here as Dunwall, who made a running catch to end the top half of the inning, swings and misses at a pitch on the outside portion of the plate, and that's out number 2 on a strikeout.
So speaking of Plattsburgh State, Sam, I actually texted yesterday the former Plattsburgh State head coach, Chris Dory. Only been 2 coaches in the last 20 years of Plattsburgh State baseball. Chris Dory, and then the one on the other side, and Sam Quinn Loeb. I asked him, what are your thoughts on Sam? And this is what he said back to me. He said, it's been great to see the career of Sam Quinn take off. Remember how I had to convince him as this ball be fielded there for the 3rd out. I'll finish that one out. Sorry, Sam, to cut you off. I remember how I had to convince him to come be my assistant at Plattsburgh. I told him I wouldn't be there forever, and it could be a good spot for him. Then he was able to hook up with the Empire League and win Coach of the Year there. I'm glad that Sam was there to take over at Plattsburgh. It was definitely time for a change, and it's awesome to watch what he and the Cardinals have accomplished in the last 3 years. There isn't a big Sam Quinn supporter out there than Chris Dory, so good praise and high words there from Chris Dory, the former coach at Plattsburgh State. So we head to the 5th inning. Welcome back to Community Field. Liam Sample joined alongside Sam Megan. A pitching change here, and one that had one of the most memorable performances of the season so far. Got the shout out yesterday in the pregame interview with Coach Joe. What do you know about our new pitcher and Joe Evans, Sam?
Know a lot about my guy, Joe Evans, the Oak Park, Illinois native, and has done nothing but shove in his Bee debut. He's appeared in 2 games for the Bees, and the only 2 games the Bees have won, Evans has been the winning pitcher. So right now down 4-1, so it would take a lot for Evans to get the win here and get his 3rd win in his 3rd appearance, but that'd be absolutely monumental and just an absolutely legendary start to Joe Evans' career as a Bee.
Blanchard finished 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts, and a bit of a bounce-back start despite the high number of hits and runs, as this one grounded up the right side, will be fielded cleanly by Akers, sort of first, and that'll be in time. So Evans with 2 pitches and 1 out here as he'll get the first batter of the inning in Blemler, and the 4-3 there to start it off.
So Evans is a big pitch-to-contact guy. We've mentioned that in our previous broadcasts, but he's a guy who's just effective in getting outs. He had 17 unearned runs in college at Morton College this year, so his pitch-to-contact worked to his disadvantage there with the Panthers, but at least so far with the Bees, his defense has backed him up, and he has done a great job here in the early going. Like I mentioned, 2-0 in his 2 appearances, a 1.29 ERA, and he's gone 7 innings. Of course, you mentioned his last one, 4 innings pitched, and he really just kept the Bees in that ball game all game long, and it's really what got them that win against the Pistol Shrimp.
New batter here is Merrick Carter. Carter did have the the single last time he was up and then showed off his legs with a stolen base. Now quickly down 1-2 here. And with the pitch on the outside, that's a word you're going to hear a lot on this broadcast when Evans is into pitches quickly. This guy does not waste any time, pitches to contact, and really forces these batters to think on their feet. The 2-2 now, so this one swung on up the right side, and that'll get through for a base hit. So Carter with 2 singles and has also reached on an error to go 2 for 2 on his game. So that'll bring up Rocker Bomber here with a runner on. Rocker Bomber did have the RBI single last time he was up. That was back in the 3rd, and it made it 4-0. That was the last run of this game for Jackson.
The one potential negative on Evans is his whip hasn't been the lowest all year. His opponents are only hitting .222 off him, which is low, but it could be a lot lower, and he's allowed a lot of guys to get on base off of him, but he's gotten out of jams every time. He feels like he's a more comfortable pitcher out of the stretch and a more comfortable pitcher with guys on base. But, of course, with the hot bats of this rockabilly team, you don't want to leave one over the plate that goes over the fence.
Nice swing and a miss there from Evans. And so I asked Coach O, Sam, take me through that walk-off home run moment. Didn't even answer that. He quickly said Joe Evans gave him the shout-out for locking down the bullpen. It's a really testament how impressive he was in that win against Illinois Valley, like you said, having 2 wins early on this season. Now the 1-1 here from the Morton College 10D. He deals pitch up high, 4-2-1 for Joe. Rocker Bomber picked up RBI number 2 on the season with a single last time he was up. It was back-to-back singles that brought home Carter, so trying to find some of that magic here. Win the 2-1. There's a big swing and a miss to make it 2-2. Evans also pretty active on social media. He commented on my social media, also commented on the Burlington Bees Twitter, so I like seeing Joe get involved with the Bees community.
Yeah, he's quickly becoming a fan favorite, and he's making his presence known on social media and knows he's here to stay.
As this one grounded up the right side once more, it'll be fielded by Evans, and a nice play at first. He'll make the catch, lose the hat. Now check the runner at second, and that'll be not in time. So what a sequence there. Matthews came way off the bag, and now they're looking for confirmation to see whether they got that out at second. Halloran thought he had laid down the tag.
So the base runner, or the base umpire, Jacob Fisher, calls the runner at second safe, which, although I do think was the right call, his back was turned to the play. So how was he able to call that play safe if he couldn't even see what happened?
So I think that's going to go down as a 4-1, Sam. Something you don't see too often is Matthews was way off the bag trying to field that ball. Akers came over, and then Evans came flying in. The throw from Akers he thought was in time at second. And it looks like they won't confirm the call here, despite the fact that neither of these umpires may have had eyes on it, Sam.
A great PFP there from Joe Evans and helping himself out on the defensive end. Race to the bag there. A great heads-up, high IQ baseball play from Joe Evans, which he has done a lot in this ballgame and has really just been able to, the key reason as to why his ERA has been so low is he helps himself out.
So Evans will step off here One thing I love about Joe Evans too, Sam, is the passion. He's after every inning in the last inning, he was just fist bumping and just wreaking havoc on his way to the dugout. If he's able to get out of the gym here, we're probably likely to see some emotion. So that brings up to the plate here in Will Bowen. Bowen reached on a single his first time up and then a backwards K his last time up. As the 1-0. This one popped straight up. It's going to be called by Akers at second, and he'll come over and make the play. So Akers gets the Bees out of trouble. One runner left on and one hit given up here from Joe Evans, picking up on his ways. A little head nod from him on his way to the dugout, trying to give his team some life. They're going to need it down 3 as we head to the second half of this game.
Yep. Back here at Burlington Bees Stadium here, Community Field, bottom 5 here. Boston Halloran will be leading off for the Bees. It is 9-1-2. We're already halfway home in what has been probably the fastest-paced ball game all year for the Bees. We're just a little bit over an hour.
Yeah, I heard you tell your parents earlier you think it's going to be a 3-hour festivity, and we might have had the announcers jinx so far an hour and just about a little over 15 minutes for the first half of this ball game, and it's already 4-1-7 combined hits.
My parents are driving in from Chicago, and it looked like they were probably going to make it in for this ball game here tonight. Fortunately for them, their car broke down in literally the middle of nowhere in Illinois, halfway between Burlington and Chicago. So shout out to my dad, Brian, and everyone else for making the trip. They'll be a little late and be at the ballpark tomorrow.
Yeah, hope's all well for them. Bit of a nightmare travel story traveling across the Midwest.
It's never fun when you got to get tow truck involved in the travels, but seems like they will be all right as Halloran takes 4 pitches that at bat. All 4 are called for a ball, and that last one was a really close pitch on the outside that Maloney seems to be getting all day, but a great at-bat from Halloran, a leadoff walk, and we'll see if they can plate him across.
I'm not sure even Halloran thought that was a ball, to be quite honest with you, though, Sam. He kind of turned around with a bit hesitant after that call, but it's back to the top of the order here for Figueroa.
An automatic take from Halloran there on 3-0. You're just trying to get base runners in any way possible, and he just held the bat at his shoulder and was like, oh, ball 4. Okay, I'll take my base. Thank you.
So now the tying run's on deck here, so they're going to see the speed of Figueroa and see if it can make an impact here from the leadoff spot.
Figueroa, who laid down a bunt in his last at-bat, could not get it down, however, fouled a couple of pitches off. A good-looking bunt, just could not get it to be in fair territory. And first pitch swinging there with no away as they check on the runner, Halloran. Figueroa still looking for his first Burlington Bee hit, but he's knocked plenty of hits here at Community Field in his time Southeastern and in West Burlington High School. Figueroa quickly down 0-2. Takes a pitch there, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, he might have the opportunity to play here in his high school career. I know we have a baseball round robin going on bright and early tomorrow here at Community Field. So this is a guy very familiar with this stadium setting and trying to knock down his first hit as a Bee.
That would be a big time for him, and it would bring up the tying run. Of course, long way to go here in this ballgame. But Figueroa, a guy who hit .362 with the Blackhawks, is trying to get that average to stay up. That ball's grounded. The pitcher, Maloney, pumps and throws to second, so they get Halloran at second. But because of the speed of Figueroa, he is safe at first, and Halloran was actually safe at second as the throw was off the bag, but he ran off the base thinking he was already called out, And as a result of the late call, he was just tagged out, and a Little League looking play there is for out number 1.
I mean, to be fair, Sam, I don't think anybody thought Halloran was safe there, including Halloran, so you can't necessarily blame him for stepping out the bag. It's more just unlucky than poor coaching or poor decision-making, in my opinion.
Just really unfortunate, and it's little errors like that, and it's the reason why the Bees have struggled early on in the season.
Yeah, a lot of little mistakes last night. Defensively, plays on the bases, and there's one last night. They keep bringing up this theme of what if in every single game. That's could be one of your what-ifs there with runners on first and second and just one out.
We mentioned the what-ifs, and obviously you need it to turn around and everything to start clicking at once, and you wonder when it's going to happen with this team as it's ball skied into center field by Akers, and the line drive will be caught by Jimenez for out number 2. So what could have been first and second, nobody out for the Bees. As quickly a runner on first and 2 away, and Maloney is 1 pitch away from getting out of this 5th inning with only 1 hit allowed. And it seems like for the second straight night, Bees hitters have just had no answer for these starting pitchers.
It was Jackson starting pitching that was the key to last night's victory. Shutout from the starter, and only 3 pitchers needed to do work yesterday against Alton. And here's starting pitching again, hurting the Bees after they had to battle Solis last night. Ooh, really shut them down.
So after a 4-pitch walk from Maloney, he's really anchored down and has been able to get outs here, and see if he can get a really tough out here and more. More 0 for 2 tonight, and had 2 hits in each of his first 2 contests here with the Bees here, and quickly in 2-0 hole, so you know he's going to be looking for his pitch to drive, and just missed one off the end of his bat in his last AB. 2-0 to Moore. Swinging away on a pitch that was just a bit low, and it'll be 2-1.
Yeah, more fighting here. This is one guy who's been a very rare bright spot and what's been a pretty redundant offense in the last couple of games for the Burlington Bees. It's good to see Moore kind of come alive, come to his own after getting some appearances in the starting lineup.
2-1, runner on the move. Low throw, and Figueroa is safe. He's trying to run for third, and he's going to get third due to base runner's interference from Brogan Jones.
Yeah, not sure what the dismay is here from the crowd.
I don't think they saw the umpires ruling there right away that he was ruled safe and was giving him third, as Jones just completely got in his way, and now Figueroa's only 90 feet away from scoring, but the only runner that's been on third for the Bees all night has failed to score, so we'll see if they can plate this one across with 2 away.
This is big here for Moore. Like I said, he's been one of the rare hot hitters in this Burlington Bees lineup over the last 2 games. It's a huge spot for him in the 3-1.
Hitters count here 3-1. Looking for a fastball here that he can drive. Pitch from Maloney. That pitch is low, and that's ball 4 to Reese Moore. So that'll bring up the tying run to the ditch, and Cooper Domlin, who's already been hit twice in this ball game, and obviously a hit by pitch here would load the bases here, and the Bees would not be opposed to that by any means.
No, I agree with you there. Now the tying run, like you said, at the plate, and it's a guy who leads the Burlington Bees in RBIs with 4 this season. So this is a big spot here for Domlin. No surprise to see some action here. 2 assistant coaches for Jackson, Cody Wood, and Augie Gallardo. Now they're going to send out here to check on Maloney. A couple pitchers, or it looks like 1 pitcher up inside the Jackson bullpen right now. Now the pitching coach talking it over.
Just starting to walk out there, so it looks like this is definitely going to be the inning to finish for Maloney at 68 pitches, and them being well below the pitch count, there's a chance for him to be back out there for the 6th, but no guarantee depending on how the rest of this inning shapes out.
And now the trainer out checking on Figueroa. Looks like it was something with his hand, but she just checked and then he'll wave her off. So good to see him be okay. He's been electric here when he gets on the base pad, Sam.
And we'll see what he can do here. It would be a big run here for the Bees and make it a 2-run ball game with a guy like Evans who's been shut down all year. If you can get him some run support and put him on pace for the win, seems like the only Bees pitcher that's been able to get a win all year.
When I was in the assistant coach's office earlier, I was asking T. Rich some questions, and being the pitching coach, I said, is Joe Evans in play today? And he He was pretty excited to say yes, it looked like, just by judging by his facial expressions. And with a guy who brings so much emotion, a little rally here to even pull the Bees within 2 or 1. You never know what Evans can do to try to rally up the dugout and try to keep him in this game, too.
Donlin first pitch takes the ball, and Maloney, who's been doing a good job of firing strikes all day, this inning seemingly has not been able to find the strike zone. It's 4 walks all day so far.
Yeah, he's moved efficiently, and this has just been uncharacteristic, maybe finish to his day.
Ground ball through the middle. Base hit for Donlin. That drives in a big run, and Figueroa. Everybody's safe. Donlin with a huge hit to drive in that run, and the Bees are within 2.
RBI number 5 for Cooper Donlin. This Bees team hasn't had a big contributor in one individual in terms of their statistics, and all of a sudden it's Donlin who's the first Bee to get to 5 ribbies on the year.
So after getting hit a couple of times in this outing, in his 3rd plate appearance, Donlin is able to finally put one in play, and first time he sees one in the strike zone, absolutely able to drive it, and just out of the reach of the second baseman and Blailer, and big run, but Beast looking to continue a rally with the guy who drove in the winning run back on Sunday in Merrick Matthews. Matthews takes a slider, called for a ball, and it's 1-0.
Not only that, Sam, Matthews is the only RBI of this game for the Bees outside of Cooper Donlin on a really well-struck ball on the first pitch. So they go first pitch off speed here. I'm very curious if he's going to get his pitch to hit here in the 1-0 count.
Matthews has gotten 2 hittable fastballs that he's hit well. One of them has resulted in and out, unfortunately, for Matthews, and big 2-out spot for him again as he grounds one to short, and they'll throw over to second, and that'll be out number 3. But the Bees get one, and it could have been more, but an error on the base paths cost what could have been a huge inning for the Bees. 4-2 heading top 6.
And Joe Evans' time continues here for his 2nd inning of work. A starter at Morton College. He's no failure from knowing to go for length as he sent out for his 2nd inning of work. Gave up the hit, but moved quickly and pretty effortless through the first time up. And now here in the 6th, he'll face 5, 6, 7 as it's Brogan Jones, who will lead it off. Had a ground out last time he was up as we're already here in the 6th inning. The Bees getting their 2nd hit of the game. It was Cooper Donlin with his 5th ribby to make it 4-2 here. Sun beginning to set in what's been a pretty cloudy and dark day here in Burlington. Pretty uncharacteristic for the high sky and sunny summers we typically get out here in Iowa. Sam, it's really not summer yet, so it's kind of hard to characteristic as there's a lot of sunny days ahead here as it's still only early June, but you expect that good weather here as we're down into just getting into the low 70s here in the 6th inning, but no wind here today compared to what we have at over 15 miles per hour for the majority of the game yesterday as an off speed from Evans catching the outside of the plate but making it 2-1.
Trying to go with the backdoor slider there is Evans, and it was a great idea, just could not get the spot there, which he has all year.
As this one grounded to short, Halloran can't field that one in his glove, so wait to see if it's statted as an error, but either way, Jones reaches, and the first batter that Evans sees this inning.
Halloran showing off the range right there. That was a really tough play, and as a result, it'll be marked as a hit in and out of the glove of Halloran, but it would have taken an amazing throw from him to get that throw.
I agree. I think that was a hit there, as I'm not sure that's a ball Halloran could have typically got into, or a play that you would expect a shortstop to make, so an impressive range for him to get there, and like you said, would have taken a monster throw, which he didn't even get the opportunity to attempt. Now that'll bring up here in Jimenez, had a double, had an RBI today in a 1-for-2 game so far, as the count quickly 0-1.
Curious to see what Jimenez can do here with runner in scoring position, or runner on base, excuse me. They had a runner that was able to get on last inning, but we're not able to get him over and score. And good job of damage control from Evans. We'll see if he can do that again here in this inning.
Go back to weather here despite the clouds. As this one grounded right back to Evans. Nice play in his glove. Underhand throw to first, and that'll be in time. Joe Evans, an athlete. Nice play there on the backhand glove in the infield grass in the first out of the inning, but the runner does move over to second.
Another PFP there from Joe Evans, and that one was a really tough play, a comebacker right to him. It looked like the runner was on the move and decided against going, but of course with him halfway down the line almost already, it was going to be hard to get that out at second, so Evans just makes the play that he knows he can get, gets the for sure out, and tries to limit the damage of what it's at.
As Katan grounds his first pitch foul, so that'll make the count 0-1. It's Katie Katan at the plate, the DH and the junior. A Kent, Ohio native, rostered at 6'1", 208 pounds. Has walked and struck out in this game. As Evans here quickly up 0-1. Not typically a strikeout pitcher here. A nice play to get that last out as he goes up high with his next pitch to make it 1-1.
I know you mentioned that he's not typically a strikeout pitcher, but still 6 strikeouts on the year for Evans, so a little bit under a strikeout every inning for him, so he does get a strikeout from time to time.
So while this bullpen's been shaky, Sam, it's been 2 monsters who have emerged out of it. That's Bobby Helt, and then the other monster here being Joe Evans, who currently is on the mound. And Helt went 2 innings yesterday of no earned run ball, did up the 3 home run, which came unearned. So these guys are continuing to do work here, and Evans trying to keep his part of that deal up as he gets foul ball here to make the count 2-2.
Gets it to a 2-strike count, and this is absolutely where Evans thrives in.
You said you think he's better out of the stretch, so maybe having a runner on the strategy from him. I don't know.
I feel like he's almost kind of used to it, so he's used to dealing with that adversity, and he's able to get outs is what you need from a bullpen guy who sometimes just comes into that situation with guys already on.
As a swing and a miss, strike 3 there from Joe Evans. And now 2 outs here with the runner on second, trying to strand another runner in scoring position for the second straight inning for the big-time reliever.
His first strike out of the ballgame really doesn't start showing emotion until he gets out of an inning. But when I was talking to him the other day, I asked him, I'm like, why do you show so much emotion? I'm like, I absolutely loved it, but what is the kind of meaning behind it? He's like, I really don't throw that hard, as he obviously prides himself on, and we've obviously talked about a bunch in the broadcast. So he has to have that personality to not only fire up himself to throw a little bit harder than he actually does, but also fire up his teammates when the bats are a little bit low and trying to get things going and trying to get some positive momentum.
Fended off his teammates to bring the momentum to win that nail-biter game. This one grounded just sharply foul. Will get away from Matthews. Evans was all the way on first, ready to make that play, but he'll get that ball back. Count now 1-0 here for Mr. Home Run and Stan King. 1 for 2 with a 2-run shot back in the second inning. The Bees, last time Evans pitched, won a game where they scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 6th. He came into a messy situation in the top of the 7th, kept the game where it was, and then eventually fueled the Bees with 4 innings of no earned run ball. One of the underrated heroes in a game where Merrick Matthews hit a walk-off home run to award the Bees just their second victory of the season. Now, off-speed rung in there. Nice pitch from Evans, and the count now to 1-2 with the runner on second.
A beautiful low, might have been a sinker there from Evans to get strike 2 there, and trying to get a tough bat who's already hit a home run, but in an advantage matchup at a 1-2 and trying to create some fun for us in the booth.
As this one swung on, he'll be hitting the air to left. Dunwald tracks towards the warning track, and he'll make the play. Catch you on the flippity-flip. Joe Evans strands 2 runners in scoring position in 2 innings of work. A strikeout there, 1 run, or no runs, 1 hit. And 1 left on base for Evans. Here's the Bees. Looking for more after getting 1 in the last inning. Will return to the bottom of the 6th. And welcome back to Community Field. So us Cardinals, Sam, we don't like to overthink it, and neither does San Quinn Loeb, the manager for the Jackson Rockabillys, as that'll be all for the day for Matt Maloney, a new pitcher in here. As, like I said, don't overthink it, as Matt Maloney with a really, really strong day for the start, a bounce-back start for him as he goes 5 innings, 2 runs, one of which was earned, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 4 walks. So picks up after a tough start where he gave up a ton of runs. Now to Nathaniel Helton, the pitcher who dons number 12, another California native attending Palomar College. That's of the CCCAA, where he threw 2.23 innings of work. So far this season has thrown 3 games, 4.1 innings pitched, has 8 strikeouts, but a 14.54 ERA for him. So looking to kind of respond to one pitcher's already done that today in Maloney, and now Helton in, from here on out.
Opponents are hitting .67 off him, so Helton's only allowed 1 hit all year. A couple of walks as well, so control could be the issue for Helton, but if he has command of the zone, it could be a long few innings for these Spees offense, who's just struggled to get anything going all year long. So this brings up the third baseman in Agnew, 0 for 2 in the ball game already, and be a huge time for his first hit against the righty Helton.
So new pitcher in after a masterclass of a start from Maloney. Pitch will be inside and can't make the count 1-0 here for Helton.
Helton's a fastball, changeup, slider mix.
Stacked day across the Prospect League. 9 games here on a Friday night in June. Summer baseball in full effect. That pitch will be his first strike for Helton.
Helton did not have a great year back in 2023 at Redlands University. He had a 10.88 ERA and 15 walks and 19 strikeouts in 24 innings pitched.
Helton the 1-0. This one swung on, will go foul up the right. Only 1 total hit let up here for Helton this season. Now the count quickly 1-2 here on Agnew. A strikeout and a ground out here have marked his day.
2.23 ERA at Palomar College this year. Appeared in 36 innings, started 4 of those ball games for them.
As this one will be swung on, will be fielded cleanly at second from Blimler. Throw to first will be in time. So 1 up, 1 down here for Helton as he gets Agnew out. That'll bring up Cedric Dunwald here. 0 for 2 in this game with a strikeout here. It's been a bit of a rough stretch for Dunwald. Hit the ball well early on in the season. Still has a .263 batting average entering today, and a guy this coaching staff is very familiar with in the NAIA. Dunwald infamously had a really good second half last season. Now the first pitch on him will be called strike. It's aggressive approach here from Helton, rostered at 6 foot, 175 pounds. Maloney rostered at 5'11", 180 pounds. So 2 very similar looking pitchers, and they work similarly, both moving quick.
There's a great pitch from Helton there, attacking the low inside corner. Unfortunately for him, cannot get the call there, and the California native trying to work in an even count. 1 ball, 1 strike, with 1 away. Dunwald looking for a huge hit here.
Only 2 total by the Bees. This one be blooped up the left side, fielded cleanly in the glove. Throw across the diamond will be not in time. Dunwald thought he had ran it out, but the throw from Carter beats him. And that's 2 up, 2 ground outs here from the Bees. That'll bring up Lindquist here, who has a walk and a ground out today. Lindquist did not play yesterday. So far this season has a 400 on-base percentage.
There's Jacob Fisher on the call there at first base. It looked like Dunwald might have been out by just a step, and 2 quick outs here out of the bullpen here from Helton, and the sophomore out of California has been doing a great job in the 6th inning and picking up right where his starter Maloney left off.
Like I said, 2 very similar looking pitchers, and they throw very similar styles here, as Lindquist already down 0-1 to the strike throwing Helton. The Bees had trouble hitting the bullpen last night for a really dominant pitching performance from Illinois Valley. The 0-1 will be dropped in the dirt. Both Illinois Valley used 3 pitchers yesterday, and so did Jackson against Alton. So the Bees going against a bullpen that's been hot recently, as they struggled to hit one that's hot last night. Jackson's ERA as a team this year is 4.9. That's 11th best in the league. Here's this pitch swung on. It'll be popped up on the right side. Blimler will make his way into the outfield grass and make a catch near the foul line. So both relievers on both sides exchanging good innings in. First inning for Helton here, a 1-2-3. Score remains 4-2 as we head to the 7th.
And here for the 6th inning shenanigans. Back here at Community Field as Joe Evans is back out for another inning of work. This will be his 3rd inning of work and a guy who's been very effective so far.
Yeah, we had a paper airplane contest here as the Office Olympics continue at Community Field as the Bees trying to fly their way to another miraculous comeback while Evans is on the mound. He's got to do his part here and now in the 7th inning.
And he's got to deal with the top of this order of the Jackson Rockabillies as our field staff is just finishing up line in the infield, and we are underway here for the 7th inning. So it's Arsenault, Blemler, and Carter 1, 2, 3 here. And the leadoff guy in Arsenault is 0 for 3 here in this ballgame.
So he stranded runners in scoring position both times. Carter and Jones have gotten hits off Evans. And now trying to go through the order for the first time as he misses that first pitch, Sam.
Evans just misses Jones there. 1-0 here. He hasn't walked anybody yet in this ballgame, and he's been doing a good job of commanding the strike zone. And see if I may have just jinxed him there as he's quickly down 2-0.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do against the walk-up leadoff guy. Evans, like you said, could be better with runners on base. So maybe he's just trying to put a runner on base. Could be a strategy.
Only 2 walks for Evans all year. He's trying to get the runner to swing. Did he go? Appears he did. 2 balls, 1 strike.
All right, I guess the base umpire and James Cottrell had to think about that one, but thanks to the Bees' benefit.
Fly ball. It'll be a little bit over our heads, and it'll be 2-2. So after firing a couple of balls to start the inning here for Evans, he's locked back in and back-to-back strikes here, and he's 1 pitch away from getting a big strikeout here to start the 7th inning.
So much swagger, moves very quickly through his motions. Here he is again.
Works very quickly and tries to get batters out of their rhythm as fires in a fastball there that was high and outside, but a little bit too high. It's 3-2.
When we talked before the first exhibition game to Preston Kaufman,
Payoff pitch. That's ball 4.
he mentioned, Sam, that he says the reason he moves fast is because he doesn't want to think about what's going to happen. I don't know if Evans has that same strategy, but it was an interesting way to put it for Evans.
Love that mentality from Kaufman, and I think for Evans, just trying to work pitch to pitch and, obviously just not trying to overthink things too much. Obviously, if you overthink a little bit too much in baseball, it can really cost you. So now an advantage batter, at least here for Evans, but after walking the leadoff guy, we'll see if he can get out of it here, which he has done in his previous 2 innings. First pitch is close. Called for a ball here on Blimler. Another off speed there from Evans, and misses another one. It's 2-0. So no action from this Bees bullpen. So it appears they are letting Evans work as long as he possibly can, and we'll see if that strategy continues.
The guy who's already got 7 innings pitched and 2 appearances, you just let him work. There's no point in really just trying to make any rash decisions so far. So maybe the guy you trust most, and just about anybody in this B staff.
His third pitch is a strike, fires it in there, 2-1, and as you mentioned, he's also a starter at Morton College as well, so he has the stamina and the ability to go a lot of innings. As runners on the move, as Evans forces a fly ball on the infield. Halloran makes the catch, and the runner has to head back for first after taking off. So, second time we've seen that from the Bees here, where runner's been in motion, and the runner almost gets thrown out because of him being in motion, and fly ball forcing an out and almost a double play.
Yeah, you could hear the chaos there to figure out what the situation would be at the runner at first, and poised play from Halloran throughout all the noise to just come across and make that catch. That's poise he's going to need at Oakland College, a big Division I program, Sam.
Now a lefty, another one here as he grounds up first pitch over to short. Halloran with the throw, and Evans gets out of it for his third inning of work. So what he does best is forcing the ground ball, goes 4-6-3 out of a jam, and the Bees heading up down to here, stretch time here in Burlington. Back here at Community Field here in Burlington. So after the huge double play from Evans, a chance here with some momentum here for this Burlington Bees offense, who have only scored 2 runs in 4 of their last 6 games and in danger of making it 5-7. 4-2 here in Burlington. 4 runs, 7 hits, and an error for the Rockabillies. We'll see them again tomorrow here at Community Field. Same time, same place. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Bees. So 2s across the board for the Bees, and they're trying to change that if they can get back in this ball game. Boston Halloran, who was a part of that battery and the double play, be leading it off here in the 7th inning, led off the 5th inning for the Bees with the walk, and he's looking to get on base for the 2nd straight at bat. Takes a pitch there, called for a strike. Halloran's quickly down 0-1. An 0-for-1 in this ballgame. A walk as well. Had that big out at second base after overrunning the bag as he drives one into left field and foul. Definitely had home run distance, but unfortunately for Halloran, just a bit early, and what could have been a big swing is just a loud foul ball.
That might have been one of Halloran's best cuts of the season, at least here at Community Field. A really well-struck ball and displays the power from the 9-hitter today.
Halloran now in an 0-2 hole instead, and we'll see if he can choke up on the bat and force any contact here as swings that inside pitch that skied in the infield. Going to be a tough play. Who's going to call it? And it is caught by the catcher, Rock Bomber, for out number 1.
Yeah, good authority there from Rocker Bomber to, first of all, make the call and then make that catch there. The pitcher, you could easily got there, takes it out of Helton Sand, makes the play himself.
Now, Chase Figueroa, as we've mentioned, the hometown kid, has not had the greatest start to his Bees debut. Reached on an error last time, and that was obviously a huge play that, unfortunately, could have gone a lot better if Halloran had not been thrown out. But he's a big-time runner and forces havoc on the base path, so a big guy you need to get on base. And he's already laid down a bunt once with nobody on base, and we'll see if he tries that again here in the 7th inning. It's a ground ball to the pitcher that could have been an inning-ending double play, but instead an error that somehow lucked out and out for the Rockabillys in Figueroa's last at-bat. One of the more game-changing plays here that will be remembered in this ballgame if the Bees cannot come out on top. 0-1 hole on Figueroa. Takes a pitch well outside, and it's 1-1.
That's a big bounce back at bat here for Figueroa. Like you said, the chaos the last time. Now trying to do it himself to put his team up in the situation.
Center fielder here for the Bees. His fourth B at bat. Takes a pitch on the outside and a great leave there to make it 2-1. Wearing the number 44, the Bees in their white home jerseys. Jackson Rockabillys in their visiting purples. Hero 2-1 pitch. Pitch is low, spiked into the dirt, and it's 3-1.
So this presents an interesting situation for Figueroa. Does have a lot of speed here, so if he can find a way to put this ball in play, he's able to reach, but you know he's going to get a pitch to swing at here, Sam.
5 stolen bases with the Blackhawks this season at Southeastern Community College. Only 7 walks with them this year in 79 plate appearances. Chance at his first B walk and his first official on-base stat for the Bees. This takes a pitch there low, but called for a strike, and it is 3-2.
Starting to get a little cooler here tomorrow. It's supposed to rain for a lot of the morning, so looks like by game time the rain will be cleared. But these two teams playing again at 6:30 tomorrow, and the Bees needing a bit of a miraculous comeback here.
Full count to Figueroa. The pitch is fouled off, and we'll do the payoff pitch one more time, and a huge at-bat for this Bees team.
Yeah, and after this new pitcher making quick work of the Bees the first time they were up, this is a good at-bat to prove that they can do something off this new reliever.
The left-handed Figueroa.
It's the righty Helton, too, so you do have a favorable matchup.
Favorable matchup here, and we'll see what he does here. He's been trying to attack him outside. And catcher set up outside. We'll see the pitch here. Indeed, an outside fastball, and a great fight from Figueroa here, and probably the best at bat we've seen from a B all ball game.
Yeah, and so he puts his right foot forward, I believe, in his bat or behind him in his batting stance. So that time he moved his foot backwards, almost like a Scotty Scheffler-esque golf swing to be able to get that ball on the inside and foul it off.
Trying to do whatever he can to force contact and keep the Bees alive here as they're chasing outs. 3-2 payoff pitch. That ball's line, left center field, an opposite field base hit for Figueroa, and he's turning on the Jets, rounds first, and will stay at first base, but a huge hit and an amazing at-bat from Jace Figueroa, one of the best we've seen from a B all season.
So congratulations to Jace. He's gotten a hit and completed getting a hit at every level of the Burlington Triathlon. Did it in Burlington High School at SEC, and now gets the hit here as a Burlington B.
His first Burlington B hit, and I'm sure he's been coming to games here at Community Field since he was a little kid, so seeing a bunch of Bees in the past get hits since he was a little kid, and to be part of that lineage, a part of the history books a little bit, and be another Bee that has got a hit, another hometown kid that does just a remarkable feat for him.
And all of a sudden, just like that, the tying runs at the plate, Sam.
We'll see what this big bat in Acres can do as runners on the move. Figueroa stops halfway in his motion, and he's in a rundown, and this could be costly here as he's running towards second. Fakes the throw towards first, and Figueroa slips and will be tagged out for out number 2. So an interesting idea to halt on the brakes halfway through his run, and another out on the base path for the Bees, which has been the story of this ballgame.
Yeah, that's another tough sequence there for Figueroa. I don't know if I like the decision to stop there, Sam. Obviously, hindsight is very 20/20, but you might be better off just to run that one off and hope they get a wild throw.
So a ball there, and once again, the life in Community Field seems to be deflated after getting a runner on base and somehow getting thrown out and giving the Rockabillys extra outs. This ball's flown into right field by Acres and will be caught for out number 3. So what could have been another big inning for the Bees results in giving away outs, and the Rockabillys maintain their lead at 4-2 as we head to the top of the 8th.
And welcome to the 8th inning. 6 outs, for the Burlington Bees to get back into this one, trailing 4-2. Hi, I'm Liam Sample, joined alongside Sam Egan's. Thanks for staying with us here. And what's been a close game throughout. The Bees pitching, 3 runs and a 2-run home run from Stan King, which currently been the swing of this game. And now Joe Evans, only the second Bees pitcher, as the first pitch will be popped up to right center field. Donlin will come across, but will actually be caught by the center fielder and Figueroa. So 1 up, 1 down as Rockerbacher goes down on the fly out to center field.
Joe Evans has just been efficient, and he hasn't even allowed any runs. He usually gets an unearned run at this point, and up to this point here, it's been absolutely zeros on the scoreboard, and no runs for the Rockabillys since that 3rd inning.
As this one popped up to center field again, Figueroa charges and will make the sliding catch in center field. Welcome to the Burlington Bees, Jace Figueroa. What a run, what a slide, and the catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs here for Evans in the 8th.
A huge play by Figueroa right there, so a little bit of a mishap on the bases back in the bottom half of the 7th, and he's been trying to do anything he can to make up for it because he knows he's just kicking himself for that out, and he makes a huge play in the field to help out his pitcher Evans, and quickly 2 up, 2 down, and what has been the 4th inning of work from Evans, and it's been massively impressive.
Not going to lie to you, Sam. That could be the best defensive play we've seen here by the Burlington Bees, at least at Community Field this season. What a charge by Figueroa. His speed allowed him to be able to get into a position to dive after that ball and made the really nice sliding grab in center field.
Evans just painting some pictures right now and forcing weak contact, and he's making a case to be pitcher of the week here in the prospect.
This one grounded. Halloran dives, but it'll get past his glove into center field for a base hit. So he's let up a base runner in every inning and does that early on to Jones.
It isn't a Joe Evans inning if he doesn't get some guys on. And unfortunately for him there, it came with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the inning. But knowing a guy like Evans in a favorable matchup like this, he's probably going to get a ground out to get out of this inning.
The junior at Utah Valley and Julian Jimenez swings and misses at the first pitch. Nice pitch there from Joe. Attended Milwaukee Tech before going to Utah Valley in 5 games so far. Does not have an RBI. Does have the double earlier in this game as he looks for another ribby here. Second pitch from Evans in that at bat. That'll be missed low, called ball, so the count to 1-1. Wouldn't be a Joe Evans inning without him having to pitch out of the stretch, Sam, and here he goes in the position that he might be a little better at.
Back-to-back sliders from Evans here. Either fastball or changeup on the inside as he picks off,
now
and they got him.
They'll have the runner here and a run down. Throw back to first here from Matthews, and he will chase him down and gets the tag for a mock 1-2-3 here from Joe Evans. This is getting ridiculous for Evans. Another shutout inning for him. 6 innings for the Bees to make a comeback. Donlin has an RBI and will lead off the bottom of the 8th when we return. It's Story Kimura, who now enters a senior pitcher, reigns from Harrison, Idaho. Liam Sample joined alongside Sam Egan in 1 appearance so far, with .1 innings pitched with 2 hits, 1 hit, 2 runs, both of which were earned, 2 walks. So as a high ERA and a high whip here so far after a pretty tough first appearance, as Story trying to write a story and bounce back here. 8 hits from Jackson, 3 for the Burlington Bees. A 4-2 game here as the Bees trying to do it off the third pitcher here for the Rockabilly. Second game will take place tomorrow at 6:30 between these two teams. A tight one here so far as the Bees trying to slow down the red-hot Rockabillys. Are going to need a comeback here as we enter the bottom of the 8th.
Heart of the order coming up for the Bees, and this is the arm the Bees kind of want to see. A guy with a 54 ERA, only went a third of an inning in his one outing with the Rockabilly so far, so he's trying to find his footing, but at the same end, the Bees who have struggled all night, they need to get their offense going, and this is a guy that they feel they can get it going against. And Story Camaro has a story on his own from Idaho, one of the few baseball players from the state of Idaho, obviously the most notorious baseball player from the state, Harmon Killebrew, a baseball Hall of Famer. Kamara pitched at Cornell, so an Ivy League pitcher, so not only smart baseball player on the field, but in the classroom as well.
1-1 count here early for Kamara. Has more Donlin and Matthews to deal with. All the RBIs coming from this part of the order. And it's been the red-hot Reese Moore trying to get the tying run on the base paths. Quickly down 1-1. We're not really down, now down on a big cut from Moore to make it 1-2.
Nice slider there from Kamara to fool Moore right there and had him just out front and a big swing and miss right there. So Moore down in the count and needs to choke up and just try and force contact on a guy who is a big pitch to contact guy, had an ERA under 10 at Cornell.
As this one fouled off the 1-2. So we talk about me not knowing a lot of people from the Northeast. Here's a guy from pitched in New York State at Cornell, like you said, in Kamara. And now the 1-2 here in the 4-2 game. I'm getting all my Northeast clicks today. I have Quinn Loeb, a Cardinal in the dugout. Now pitcher from New York State on the mound. The 1-2. Swung on here. Moore staying alive here despite getting down in the count. Another quality at bat from him.
And Kamara's a guy who, when he made his college debut, he didn't make his debut till his junior year. And when he made his debut, he made it in a big situation against 5th-ranked Wake Forest. Had 3 strikeouts in 2 1/3.
Pretty historic program for Wake Forest. 4-2 game. The 1-2 again. Off speed to the outside, and Moore fights his way back as the Hawkeye continues to claw.
So obviously, a guy like Kamara, no stranger to Power 5 talent like Moore, and we'll see if the Power 5 bat and the Hawkeye, who got a lot of time at the catcher position, can get a big hit here.
2 innings of work, and now the nice pitch there draws the strikeout. So Moore down for 1 out here. The Bees down to 5 to work with.
Moore, his 2nd strikeout of the game, and only his 3rd ball game as a Bee. He's gotten a hit in his first 2, and in danger of not getting a hit here in his 3rd ball game. As Cooper Donlin at the dish for the Bees. Single in his last at-bat, has reached base in all 3 at-bats. Got hit by a pitch in his first 2 plate appearances.
So Donlin's reached every time, and the RBI is last time up. That was the last run of this game. 1-0 here. As Kamara deals the pitch on the outside, we'll make it 2-0 here, down quickly to Donlin, who leads the Bees in RBIs.
Couple outside pitches there to Donlin, and a quick 2-0 advantage. Looking for his pitch to hit, and a guy that you absolutely need to get on base.
Helton went 2 innings pitched with 1 hit and no runs allowed. There's a big cut there from Donlin. Will make it 2-1.
Uncharacteristic chase from Donlin. Chases the slider out of the zone, but it's just been a nasty slider from all 3 right-handed pitchers out of this Rockabilly bullpen and starters that have just fooled this Bee lineup.
As Donlin swings as this one, just misses on the foul line. So the count now to 2-2 here. A big pitch coming up for Donlin, trying to keep the Bees in this game. Just a 4-2 game.
From 2-0 to 2-2 and chasing 5 outs, only down 2 runs, and guy that you need to get on base here. So Donlin fouled off both pitches and just need him to put one in play.
Another Hawkeye on deck, and Merrick Matthews has been big in this game. Already has a ribby. The 2-2, this one will be swung on. And it's not like these guys aren't putting together quality at-bats. Sam, another good foul pitch off from Donlin here makes it 2-2 still.
Bees, nonetheless, still only have 3 hits in this ballgame. So despite the good at-bats and fouling some pitches off, they have not been able to really square a ball up and put it in play.
As this one will be swung on and goes foul again. Coach O likes what he sees on the third base side. I'm sure he'll be excited if Donlin can do something here on another big 2-2 coming up.
Definitely a frustrating at-bat for Kamara, who only went a third of an inning in his last outing. So we'll see how long of a leash he has, and if Donlin gets on base, for some pressure here on the bases. See how he does out of the stretch if it gets to that point.
As this one dropped in the dirt and out to a 3-2 count. What an at-bat that Donlin's putting together here. And another quality at-bat from the heart of the order. Potentially last time they're up in this game. It's a 4-2 match against the red-hot Rockabillys. They've done it on both sides of the ball. It's just their sixth pitcher used in the last two games. They took down another team that's been rolling in the Alton River Dragons. As a 3-2 inside, and it's been a target on his back for Cooper Donlin. A hat trick of hit by pitches, but at this point, the Bees will take any base they can get.
That one of the three is the one that does not feel good the most. Obviously, that one caused the most amount of pain to Donlin, but probably the biggest hit by pitch of the three in terms of putting the tying run at the plate, and a guy who already has one huge late inning home run for the Bees already.
Merrick Matthews walked us through that at bat in yesterday's pregame show. It's an RBI single in this game, but is 1 for 3 outside of that. We'll take some time here. Donlin looks like he's gonna wave off the trainer. Was just a bit shaken up and continues to walk it off there over with the first base coach and Casey.
I think that's worst case scenario there for Donlin, because you're in a full count and you're just trying to take that pitch for ball 4, and unfortunately that one ran a little bit too far inside and plunked him for the third time in this ball game. So might slow him down a little bit on the base paths. We'll see a speed threat like Donlin if he is limited at first with the amount of base running errors the Bees have had already in this ball game, giving the Rockabilly some free outs.
First pitch at Matthew C. will be called a strike. 1 for 3 in this game, entered today. Having played 5 games with 15 at-bats, 3 runs, 2 hits. Grandpa is a legend and a scout for the Rockies. Dad also worked for the Padres. Baseball runs in Merrick's family. The 0-1 inside. Good take from Matthews to make it 1-1.
No, they called that a strike. So an inside slider that caught the front door, and back-to-back sliders on Matthew that he's taken, and that second one just somehow clipped the zone, and quick 0-2 hole to the Iowa Hawkeye.
Was all region when he played at Indian Hills Community College back in 2023. The 0-2. That one will be called a ball here. No delayed strike call. Officially makes the count now 1-2. Only 3 hits here from the Burlington Bees. Left 4 runners on in the first 3 bases, or first 3 innings of the game. Left 2 on in the 5th. So the left on base curse hurting them tonight. And now trying to bring one home is Matthews in a big situation with Donlin at first. On deck is Agnew. As a swing and a miss, a big strikeout here for Kamara. And that sits down one of the best bats for the Bees and continues to take hope out of Community Field. 2 outs here in a big spot for Skylar Agnew.
A big Bayou fastball there by Kamara right there. And it seems like in his only inning of work, he's starting to get an efficient out, and this is a guy you need the Bees to get to. Otherwise, it's going to go to the closer for the 9th inning, and a closer that has been lights out so far.
As Agnew hits this one in the air to right center field, that ball is carrying, looking up, and it's gone! Skylar Agnew ties this game up. As it actually will stay in play, and it'll be a triple for him, So Agnew off the wall, and RBI triple as the Shark sinks one into right center field and makes it a 4-3 game.
Definitely thought that ball left, but obviously with the white advertisements out there, kind of easy to lose the ball and put that one right in the gap exactly where it needed to be, and a big-time triple from the left-hander in Akers. So I mentioned you need your left-handed bat to get you a big-time swing, because you got an arm and a closer who's been lights out so far. Hasn't even allowed a hit or a walk so far, so he's been perfect.
So Akers, not Agnew, coming up with the hit. Or actually it was Agnew, who comes up with the triple here. Now they're going to take time to tuck it over. It's going to be Kamara who gets out. So an first triple of the season by the Burlington Bees coming off the bat of Skylar Agnew. Now 1 for 4 with the triple, and it's 4-3 here, and the tying run just 90 feet away, and a big spot for Cedric Dunwald, who's had a bit of a tough day at the plate for Dunwald, being 0 for 3.
No bigger time for Dunwald than right now to drive in that tying run. The Bees in a big spot here with Evans on the hill.
So he strikes that ball into the right center field gap for Agnew. A big spot for him. Went 0 for 1 yesterday with a strikeout. That's just his third hit of the season and one of the clutches so far from the Burlington Bees.
Quick 0-2 hole to Dunwall, and needs a big hit here, so choke up on the bat and just make contact and hope falls somehow.
4-3 the score. The Bees have chipped away after trailing 4-0, and will have to do it in their last 3 outs as Dunwald with the strikeout. So the Bees score 1 on 1 hit, a huge clutch triple from Skylar Agnew. All the way to the right center field gap, deep into the warning track, makes it 4-3. We'll see if it's Evans here to try to hold it at a 1-run game, but we head to the 9th when we return.
Top 9 here in Burlington as the Bees get one back as Agnew, or excuse me, yeah, it was Agnew who was inches away from tying this ball game up, but got a big time triple, and unfortunately for him, Dunwald could not drive him in. Pairs 3 strikeouts for the Bees in that bottom half of the 8th, and what could have been a bigger inning, as we've said all night, a series of what ifs as the Bees leave the tying run stranded 90 feet away.
7 left on base here for the Burlington Bees. Sam, I'm still not sure how that ball didn't leave this park. We were talking about it between the innings. It looked like it had maybe caught the top of the wall where the YMCA is out in right center field, just below the scoreboard. Would have been a clutch hit, had it more, or even clutcher hit, had a few more inches, but just misses it. And this game of what ifs continues.
That ball's drilled in the right field. It'll be a foul ball, and it'll be 2-2. So Evans out for his 5th inning of work. It's been absolutely incredible for him, and he's been absolutely testing out his flexibility here. Went 3 in his first outing, 4 in his last outing, 3 innings in his previous outing, and now here in this outing for his 5th inning of work. Some double barrel action in the Bees bullpen, so we'll see how long of a leash he has with the lefty on lefty matchup. He's here out for his 5th inning of work to start it, at least here in the top of the 9th, as he skies one into left field. Be caught by the third baseman in Agnew, who just missed out on that home run back in the bottom half of the 8th. That's out number 1.
So what I wanted to mention there is that Jimenez has seen Evans quite a bit. Had the at-bat his first time up where he grounded out in the 6th, and then got to see him there after the running got picked off at first. So got to see a couple pitches from Evans at the end of the last inning, but doesn't seem to help him there as he fouls out.
Bottom of the order here, and Evans trying to just get through it for the 2nd time in this ballgame and quickly get his offense back up after some momentum. It won't get any easier for the Bees, though. Likely going to be Jackson Lucas for the 9. 2 for 2 in his save opportunities so far this year, and he has been perfect. No walks, no hits, and it's going to be a tough cookie to crack here for the Bees.
Yeah, and you just talk about a few more inches there from Agnew, who we thought it was gone initially, and just hits the triple off the wall.
Stump calls time to get a couple more balls from the ball boy there. As he says, my bad, there's a guy who throws fast like Evans out of his rhythm a little bit. So we'll see if that has any effect here. Just quickly throws, deals off the outside corner, 1-2.
You need a lot of balls when you deal with Evans here. A lot of fouled off pitches and a lot of balls that go in play. Not a lot of strikeouts here to keep that ball.
So Evans would, this result holds, will not get a decision in this ballgame, despite him by far being the best Bees pitcher. And you wonder if he will start to be a starter for this Bees team, or because he's been so well out of the bullpen, you keep him where he's at.
I'm not sure you take him out of the bullpen, Sam. To have that type of arm who can go length in the bullpen, I think that might be a more versatile tool than a starting rotation that's pretty set in stone this early on in the season.
I think that's a great point there. And Evans, who can be a lights-out long reliever for this team. Could go a long way for this team. Needs some help from the rest of the bullpen, though. A 2-2 pitch from him is that one isn't really close from Evans. A rare, uncompetitive pitch, and we've gone to a full count.
And with how shaky the bullpen's been, Sam, this season, to know you have this brick wall and Evans who can go 4, even 5 innings and really shut it down, that's a weapon that a lot of teams don't have.
Evans loses his hat there and just misses a high fastball as walks the batter there. So 1-out walk from Evans and brings up the guy who's already homered in Stan King, but it's a lefty-lefty matchup for Evans, so I'm assuming he's going to stick this one out.
No movement at all from the Bees dugout, not even one to go check on him. Content with a big walk there. It's the second walk of the game, and that puts King in a huge spot. A home run here like he did back in the second could maybe put this one away, Sam.
No runs allowed at all from Evans, whether it's earned or unearned. You mentioned a pair of walks and a strikeout as well early on. His first pitch low just misses for ball 1.
And now T. Rich looks like he wants to go out there and talk it over, and we'll get the signal from the umpire. So one thing I want to ask you about, Sam, is with all the catching instability so far, what have your been thoughts behind Reese Moore, who makes his catching debut for the Bees?
I think this is a guy that the Bees have honestly kind of been looking forward to, and a guy I've been looking forward to see as well, obviously an Iowa product, and he got some consistent reps with the Hawkeyes this year, and a couple other guys who have maybe played some innings at a lower level, potentially JUCO or Division III, but there isn't really a guy that they've had that gets consistent innings behind the dish like Reese Moore. And when you have that kind of stability, it kind of eases the staff a little bit. So when you've had a lot of mix, like revolving door back and forth between catchers, it kind of makes it harder for pitchers to get in a groove, get in a rhythm, and stay consistent, having to keep going over signs and pitches with different catchers. So obviously, with that issue with the revolving door of the catcher early on, it's created some troubles for the pitchers, but see if they start to figure out their catchers and the catchers start to figure out their pitchers as the season goes on.
It's now the 1-0 count. One huge pitch coming up here for Evans, and he'll just pump fake and check that runner at first.
And the big thing that comes with that, too, is pitch calling, as catchers who aren't as familiar with their pitchers may not be calling the right pitches that the pitchers are feeling. And the pitcher might be scared to shake it off as a result. Could lead to a bad pitch over the zone. 5 straight balls from Evans here, which is very uncharacteristic here. So bullpen ready to go here if Evans loses control. Fires in a close pitch inside, does not get the call, and he's very frustrated with home plate umpire Jacob Fisher.
Emotional guy in Evans there, and that time had the right to express it. I believe that was a strike call. Looks like it clipped the inside of the plate from our eyes up here.
One that's seemingly been a strike all night as he fires one across the middle. It's almost like an angry, just give me a strike pitch, you know?
Yeah, and Evans just works so quickly, and he just fires it right back to the same spot. You can't blame him here. It's a big pitch coming up 3-1.
See if he stays aggressive as he slider goes behind the batter and King. So back-to-back walks here for Evans. And we'll see if Coach Owen Oreskevich is going to end his day here after 4 1/3. And indeed looks like that will be the day for Joe Evans. So a very impressive outing, 4 1/3. No earned runs and no runs allowed, at least to this point, but has a couple that he's responsible at first and second base. So we'll bring you to the new arm after the break, and after a very impressive outing from Evans, new arm will come out. Who is it?
I don't know. We're about to find out. I just got to write down how many hits he had. 3 hits.
Now pitching for the Bees, number 41, Chase Golden.
Jesus. Back here, top 9. Chase Golden, the new pitcher for the Burlington Bees, and had a rough outing in his last going against Illinois Valley here at Community Field. That was back on Sunday. Was unable to record an out and gave up 3 costly runs that gave the Pistol Shrimp the lead in that ball game. Joe Evans was able to come in after and slam the door, but Golden looking to pick up his teammate Evans after he's given up a few base runners, and just like Evans got Golden out of a jam the other day, Golden looking to do the same thing for Evans out here later on in the week.
It's a huge spot here for Golden, the biggest spot he's been all year. This is 2 hard outs to get through a tough part of this order coming up.
Top of the lineup coming up for Chase Golden, the former Western Illinois Leatherneck, recently now in the transfer portal. Mentioned ERA at 27, only an inning of work and 2 appearances with the Bees this season. So looking to get out of a tough jam at the top of the order coming up here in the 9th.
His hobbies include eating sushi and cereal, and he needs to eat here to get these last 2 outs.
See if he can have these hitters eating out of the palm of his hand with 2 outs to get. Maybe a ground ball double play to get himself out of this jam. First pitch fired in from Golden, a good one on the outside, called for a strike.
He's got such an uncharacteristic delivery, Sam. Kind of release it almost late in his motion, if you will. And we'll see what he's able to do against Arsenault, who has a walk here so far.
Fools a guy like Arsenault. Fooled a guy like me, who I thought that pitch was going to be spiked in the dirt, but instead that ball somehow found the outside portion of the plate and just stayed up. The 0-1 from Golden. Fires in another one. That one just off the plate, and it's 1-1.
It's like he comes over the shoulder later in the actual motion of his legs that a typical pitcher would. I don't know if that confuses the batter or not, but definitely throws me for a little bit of loop in the press box.
4 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Rockabillys. 3 hits on 4 hits and 2 errors for the Bees. Golden fires in a 1-1, and that ball is straight up and out of play, and it'll be a 1-2 count for Chase Golden, who needs a strikeout here. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup mix. That fastball can get up to 92, so he had some velocity there, and we'll see if he displays it here. But nasty slider, that has been his nasty 1-2 punch with an occasional changeup, curveball mixed in there as well.
Yeah, so Chase entering the portal on Sunday. Congratulations to him. Now an opportunity to prove it to potentially his new college, Sam.
Now here's a 1-2, trying to prove it to potential scouts and universities looking at him and others in the Prospect League. Good to bounce back and show coaches that he can deal through adversity and tough jams and situations. Trying to be a reliable arm for this Burlington Bee bullpen, which they're still trying to find some. 2-2 pitch from Golden. Slider on the inside, jams him. Going to be a ground ball. Tough play. Agnew over to first. Off the bag, and Matthews can't make the play. It's going to be an error that plates a run. At least runners on second and third, they will stay put. So a ground ball that could have produced a huge out instead turns into an error, the third of the ball game. And all 3 errors for this Bees team have been immensely costly, and this one probably the most, as it makes it a 2-run ball game here in the 9th with 1 away and 2 in scoring position.
Yeah, so that'll be as an E5 likely. And the error there on Agnew, who had the RBI triple to pull them within 1, and now back to 2 here off of his glove.
So it'll go as an unearned run to Golden, and the infield in with it already being a 2-run game. You can't let it get worse than it already is with what has been an unhittable closer warming up in the bullpen. First pitch from Golden, high and outside, but called for a strike.
Yeah, so he does a good job getting that first pitch strike in both of his at-bats. This is another tough at-bat in Blemler. He's 0 for 4 in this game. This could be a huge spot for him to bring home runs. A single could bring home 2 and potentially put it out of reach for Burlington.
Putting some good pieces on the ball. Made contact in all 4 of his at-bats. Unfortunately, has not been lucky in his at-bats. And as you said, he's 0 for 4 in this ball game. And looking to get his first hit of the ball game. And if he does, it get this out of being a save situation at the moment.
6 errors in the last 2 games for the Bees, and all of which have been so costly, Sam. Another one here, one you just did not need if you're this Burlington staff.
0-2 Golden trying to keep it where it's at following the error and help himself out as he gets a strikeout high and outside on that fastball. Goes there for the second time in this at-bat. For the second time, gets a swing and a miss, and that velocity just a little bit too much.
So Merrick Carter comes up, has 2 singles, but did hit into the double play. This is the matchup of the game here as the Bees trying to hold it at 2 and potentially keep it within range for a comeback.
Golden's second strikeout of the season. Also has 4 walks as well, and trying to avoid any control issues here with 2 outs, and tough batting Carter at the dish. Left-hander in Carter playing third base today. He's had an error, but also some really nice plays in the field to keep the score where it is. One that we look back in is hard hit ball back in the first inning by Merrick Matthews, and made a great play there by Carter, which is part of the reason why the score is where it's at right now. 2 outs, 0-1, 2 runners on, second and third. Golden's pitch low and a great stop from Moore to keep the ball in front of him and not let the ball get away and score another run.
So that was end a streak of 4 straight strikes there for Chase. So good to see him get some strikes in the plate and really doing what he does best. He looks much more comfortable in this outing than he has in the past.
Coaches are going to love seeing this from Golden if he can continue this at a consistent rate. Finding the strike zone is key for him with the velocity he has, and he fires in another strike there, and it's going to be 1 pitch away from getting out of a tough jam with only 1 run allowed, and it'll be unearned.
Yeah, this is a big spot for him. That also keeps the Evans shutout day intact, as that could be an unearned run for him too.
Unearned run does indeed go to Evans and not Golden, as he gets a strikeout, his second of the inning, and a big one from Golden. Bees are chasing 2 with 3 outs to get, and an unhittable closer in, it looks like, going to be Jackson Lucas coming out for this 9th inning of work, and we'll see if he can remain perfect right here. Bottom 9 here, and the Bees are chasing 2, and it'll indeed be Jackson Lucas, the closer for the Rockabillys, and he has been nothing short of unhittable, in this Prospect League season. 2 for 2 in his save opportunities so far, but it's not the fact that he's 2 for 2. It's the fact that he's been perfect. No walks, no hits allowed, and obviously no runs either, and he is been very successful, which is kind of a surprise considering he only has appeared in games as a junior and senior at Arkansas. Blind Buff had 9 innings pitched, 10 walks, and an 11.42 ERA, and only just 3 appearances as a junior. Started to find his footing a little bit as a senior, went 3-1 with a 1.18 WHIP and a 5.33 ERA. So that WHIP was definitely there. Had 21 runs allowed, 16 of them were earned, and 27 innings pitched. And we'll see if he can have his control. Only 14 walks and 27 innings pitched, so walks weren't too big of a concern. 20 strikeouts, so was not a big strikeout guy either, just pitches to contact, but kind of like Joe Evans, just efficiently gets outs. And with this part of the order up for the Bees, it's 8-9-1, and they need this bottom of the lineup to come up clutch here. Lucas, the hard-throwing right-hander, a fastball, curveball, changeup mix. He'll go in with the first pitch fastball, high and inside, and misses on Lindquist. Lindquist, a walk, was still looking for his first hit of the ball game. That walk came all the way back in the second inning. Has not reached base since. 1-1 count after a strike. Fired in there from Lucas. He fires in another one, a high fastball that goes right past Lindquist. So a little bayou fastball for Jackson Lindquist. Trying to beat him with velocity, and it's 1-2.
Boy, is that fastball dirty. So is his delivery. It's almost delayed in the delivery like Golden that it comes out. It takes his time, and boy, does it come out with some speed.
Now the 1-2 goes another high fastball. This one does not find the zone, however, and Link was able to lay it off, so it's 2-2. Link was a big fastball hitter at 10 home runs back at Rock Valley Community College, and a home run here would not, although tie the ball game, be a huge hit here. As he drives one left field, this ball's carrying but will be caught near the warning track for out number 1 by Gavin Arsenault. So a good swing of the bat there from Lindquist, but just did not get enough of it, and that's out number 1.
And then with how deep left field plays, Sam, you really just can't ask for much more out of Lindquist there. Great barrel to ball, and just unfortunately into a defender's glove. And Sam, I mean, the Bees just keep getting unlucky bounces, unlucky breaks. That was another one right there. Like I said, just really good contact on that.
It just seems like a series of unfortunate events for the Bees all year long. Just have been getting unlucky, and whenever the bullpen's been clicking, the bats unfortunately have not. And whenever the bats have been clicking, the bullpen hasn't been able to. So we'll see if they can right the ship here as the season starts to go on. But with 1 out and chasing 2 runs, need a big swing of the bat here from Halloran, who's in a quick 0-2 hole. Just a reminder, these two will play again tomorrow at the same time. Big at bat from Halloran right here. Just the Rockabilly's look to close this one out and take game 1 of this mini 2-game series.
And I mean, they're looking for a big road trip here to stay hot. Won a huge game at Alton yesterday. If they can close this one out, it's another effort where they have some really good pitching, Sam.
Took the lead in the division last night, just trying to extend that lead now here early on in the season. It seems like they've had everything going so far. Timely hitting, a great bullpen, and a lights-out closer, at least so far, who has not allowed a base runner to this point.
And with only 1 error, Sam, I go back to what Sam Quinn Loeb told us before the game about how good that defense is.
Halloran in 2-2 count. Swinging and fouled away is Halloran. So Halloran's been having some good at-bats his last 2 plate appearances, and see if he can get on here and put the tying run at the plate.
Champion City Kings with a huge upset of Chillicothe. O'Fallon blowing out Alton right now 15-2. And then Illinois Valley leading Clinton by a score of 7-5 currently.
He's only 4 hits in this ball game, looking to turn that around here in the 9th. 2-2 pitch here. Just off the outside and can't get the call. So a beautiful slider there. Might have been a curveball actually from Lucas, and the best pitch of the ball game cannot get a call, and a great take from Halloran on 2-2.
That was a gutsy take to say the least, Sam.
Now on a payoff pitch, we'll see if he's up there chasing. 3-2, Halloran on a high fastball, and he skies another one into the sky, and another long fly ball for Halloran. So the second time in this ball game where he's hit one really deep down the left field line, but unfortunately just skied it foul.
Yeah, Sam, that ball was crushed to foul territory. Another good barrel to bat.
Halloran, another payoff pitch here, just trying to find his way aboard, and we'll see if he can do so here. Lucas shaking off the catcher, and as a result, Halloran's going to call time and really make Lucas think about this payoff pitch here. Big at-bat from Halloran here, bottom of the 9th, down 2. Full count. Pitch from Lucas. Down the middle, fastball, gets it right past Halloran, and that's out number 2. Great pitch from Jackson Lucas to just attack Halloran. Lucas, the senior this season at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Halloran only being a freshman. So the veteran experience, just knowing how to throw a strike and just throwing a competitive pitch saying, hey, you have to beat me, and Halloran could not do so. So the Bees down to their final out here, and it's Figueroa, the hometown kid. Singled in his last Bee at-bat, but was caught stealing after. That brought an abrupt end to the 7th inning, which could have gone for more, with Figueroa being only thrown out with 1 away and really just stopping in between the base paths. So trying to make up for that base running blunder. Already had a nice play in the field and a big swing right there, looking for his first career home run.
And with the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes currently winning 8-7 in their game, there's a chance for the Burlington Bees, if they lose and can't get the at-bat here, to be tied in that final spot in the Northwest Division right now. The gap continuing to widen between Clinton and Illinois Valley, who are both running away with the division.
Bees would fall to 2-6 if the result holds here, and Figueroa
One pitch away
quickly
from
down in a 1-2 count. Is great pitching from Lucas, who's trying to maintain perfect in his 3rd outing of work. Closer has not allowed anything so far this season. and has been lights out for the Rockabillies. Looking to close this one out here for his third save. The 1-2 from Lucas. As that's driven by Figueroa. Tough play, and will drop for a base hit from Figueroa. So not out of it yet. His second hit of the ball game. And the tying run coming to the plate in Landon Akers.
0 for 2, with an reaching on an error and a ball. He's gotten on base, and the Bees need it here. First guy to ever reach against this pitcher this season.
First base runner allowed by Lucas all year, and it is a base hit by Figueroa. So great piece of hitting by Figueroa, down but not out, and we'll see if the right-hander Akers, not in an advantage situation here, can do against his fellow right-hander in Jackson Lucas. Lucas fires in the first pitch fastball that just misses the lower portion of the plate, below Akers' knees it seems, and good take there on 1-0.
Figueroa 2 singles and a diving catch. What a way to make his debut to the Burlington Bees.
A couple of flyouts in his last 2 at-bats as Akers. He flies another one into right field. This is going to be a tough play, but will be caught by Will Bowen, and that will do it. So a lot of blown opportunities for the Bees, leaving runners on base, and a great shutdown outing from Jackson Lucas as he finishes off with his 3rd save of the year, and the Bees offense is not able to get going. So for the 5th time in 7 games, the Bees have scored 3 runs or less, and they look to get the bats going tomorrow night against the same foe.
Yeah, quick game here, already done at 9:09, but the Bees the bat issues continue. 4 hits yesterday, 5 here today, and that's not going to do it to win in this Prospect League. Another solid pitching effort for them, only gave up 8 total runs, but just fall short right at the end.
So the homer from King is the difference here in this ball game, but of course, the left on base and the what-ifs for the Bees, which we've talked about all year. It's been a big what-if season for the Bees, and it continues to be that for this team as they left 3 on base in the first 2 innings, 5 in the first 3 innings, and then kind of after that it stayed stagnant, not leaving guys on base. It would show up in the stat sheet, but getting thrown out at second on a play that was really, we had an error that just not thinking for a second on the base path leads to an out, and then you get caught stealing and just kind of stand in between. So Bees I don't think it was the Rockabillies who really beat them. It was more the Bees who beat themselves, taking away outs, giving the Rockabillies extra outs, and those extra outs resulted in runs, and the Rockabillies were able to take advantage of those chances, unlike the Bees.
And I hate to be that guy, Sam, but when you only have 5 hits, it's hard to point it to one play. It's hard to point it to one play or isolate it to one sequence or one missed throw or one error or anything along those lines. You only score 3 runs, and unfortunately, in how high scoring this Prospect League is, it isn't going to cut it.
More times than not, when you score 5 hits, you don't deserve the win, and that was definitely the case there for the Bees. So we mentioned kind of earlier there's a bit of a hitters meeting between Owen Oreskovich and his squad, and at least so far the bats were not able to get it through in what seemed to be the best lineup so far for this Bees offense all year.
Yeah, Jackson's now flying 3 straight wins, have won both games of their road trip all the way from near Nashville, Tennessee, and now a 7-2 record. What a start to the season for them, and another only 4 pitchers used have used 4 or less in their last 2 games, and it's been excellent here, riding them to a win streak.
So that'll do it here in Burlington, Iowa. Sam Egan alongside Liam Sample. Your final score here, Bees 3 and the visiting Jackson Rockabillies 5. Taking the victory is 5 runs on 8 hits and 1 error for the Rockabillies. For the Bees, they had 3 errors and could have been the difference here. 3 runs on 5 hits and, like I mentioned, the 3 errors in the field. So that'll do it for our coverage of Bees baseball here tonight. We thank you for joining us here at Community Field. Like I said, Liam Sample alongside Sam Egan. Thank you for joining our coverage. Same time tomorrow for Bees and Rockabillies. We'll see you then.